Okay, trying something different. Hoping this works. Hoping this works. Okay. All right. Is it on? Let me know if you guys can hear me. So, yeah. I mean, I guess I'll wait to see if everybody can hear me first before I start talking, right? That makes more sense. A little more sense. So our issue here was that something happened with the, I don't know, timing, something. What's up, Sean? Can't hear me, but you can hear me. I see you, Obyang. For if you can't hear me, I can try turning. Oh, okay, good, 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 good. Let me bring the boom mic in. Yeah. So this setup. Hopefully, it'll be the last day that we have this setup. So with the last video, the lighting is so funky. I had to try to mess with it a lot, and it still, of course, comes out very obviously messed with. I normally film in a separate like room that's for my computer and all of that stuff, but it's also a guest room, and I have a guest. So this person's been staying for a while, and it's just sort of like a way to have them closer to their work, so they can find a place to live. So this is sort of just a transitional kind of period. But they were supposed to be out yesterday, but they're leaving today, and that's fine. It's just the lighting in this particular room is not very good. The ceiling light absolutely doesn't work. I've got the curtains open for natural light, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I've got my ring light on the floor pointed at the damn thing behind me, and we're just gonna have to, I guess, deal with that. I know. How dare your guests interfere with my parasocial relationships? I know. Yeah, I'm strobing like crazy, and it's. Oh, I mean, we could just try having the ring light just right here. Is that better? The worst part is it's almost better, right? At least it stops the strobing. So, not thrilled. So I was actually gonna do my makeup on the live stream, and I'm still gonna. I've got two palettes. One of them's yellow, and one of them is blacks and grays. So if you guys have any ideas, suggestions, recommendations, yeah, the lighting. I just the other option is to have like paint open and just whites. I don't know if that helps with the strobing. I don't think it does. That's what's been so frustrating about this. It's all the same setup. Everything's the same. My camera's the same. My OBS is the same. All the pixels and everything. It's all the same. But it's just the damn lighting in this room. So I didn't, I didn't think it would be that drastic, and it absolutely is. So, oh well. Oh well. Why does it say the current resolution is what it is? No, it's not. I have specifically made sure it wasn't. It's telling me my camera resolution is off. It is not off. I set it to exactly what it should be. It says it should be 256 or 2560. It is 2560. What are you doing? Why are you doing me dirty? It's like every. I will be honest, I have been very, very easy to anger these days. So it's never with big stuff. It's always small stuff. Something big doesn't matter, you know. But this, it's like, mm. Living in Korea helps you become a popular friend. Yeah, right. No, this was just. It's a Korean person. They just need a little help right now. So not a big deal. You think I need a Mac? Yeah, the Mac geek. Thank you for plugging the Mac. I should get one that's like it's in your profile pic, the old school box. Oh man, I miss those. Playing Number Muncher. Sounds like I need to do Pikachu. Yeah, I need to get that in there. Hello, Menno. I don't know what the other issue was. The for the regular live stream that we were doing for the cult members, for the membership live stream, for some reason only one person was able to access it. But it was really weird because I could put it, like if I click the link, it shows up as normal. It's a video that I'm able to see. It's a live that I'm able to check out, and I don't know. And it's these little, I don't know why the little things get to me. It's never the big things. It's just the little things. What's up, Prodigious Sub? I know I'm looking very pale. See a bit of the stroke. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know what to do about this damn lighting BS. I was having such a hard time with it. Let's see if getting some color on my face will help. All right. So, which one are we gonna do more? Are we gonna do yellow or are we gonna do the blacks? Which one are we doing more? I guess we could vote, but you could just type it. I don't know. We're doing yellows or blacks? That's the first question. Blacks. All right. Let's do it. How are we doing it? Are we doing something crazy? We doing something 80s? What are we doing with this? What are we doing? Where am I doing it? I did not. I usually do either no makeup or just do my makeup first before I do these streams. So I don't really. There's sort of a setup. That's sort of a setup. There's the, okay, I have a mirror. We're ready. All right. Bright red lip. I only have black and gray. I can do gray lips. I don't have the bright red. I'm very sorry. I thought, yeah, no, it'll be fine. I'll just bring my neutrals, and then no, it didn't. I just wanted something to kind of match this. I don't know what color is this? Olive? Like an olive yellow? I don't know what color that would even be. So we're doing something, you know, let's do something like skull-like, I guess. Something big, just to get contrast on the face. How about that? Book a flight, bring one of your studio lights. Yeah, I mean, I got a light. It's just, it's gotta be in the, it's gotta hit the stupid thing in the behind me. What's it called? The blue screen. Because it's otherwise it's all. Is any of it better? None of it's better. And it's just, I'm so neon reflective. Look at this. I remember when we were doing the Zoom classes and I changed the background because my background was white. It was, you know, eggshell white. And, you know, I said, oh, okay, well, let's change it from the green screen or whatever to eggshell white. So I clicked on that and my whole face disappeared into the background. And I'm like, that's racist. What is this? That's not my fault. I can't be in the sun very often. I gotta take all this damn vitamin D. I'm working too damn much. Staying inside the house. Come on. Can we just set you up somewhere? Can we set you up better? Is that slightly better? I know you guys are loving hearing all this grinding, I'm sure. Just set it there for right now. Alright. I remember one of your first videos, you went, man, my hair is crap, I'm gonna wear a hat. These days you actually care. I just want it to look better. I don't know. I want it to look like I care. That's all. I mean, if you guys don't care, I'm okay. I just don't want it to, I don't want you to think I don't care about making it look nice for you guys. Especially when you're saying it's flickering, and I know that bothers some people. But if you guys are gonna have me on like in the background and you just don't, you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. That one position when moving the light was actually got it right for 1 second. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was so. Now remember, this is just a live stream. We're having fun. We're interacting. That's the point. Not so much how it looks, right? But with the video, you know, you want it to look presentable. I spent so much time trying to get that bastard just correct. Okay, well, thank you, Menno. I guess with that, let's just put colors on my face. Let's just go for it. Let's see if we can do anything about this contrast here. And while we do that, I would love to hear how your April has been going. because I don't know, my April's been weird. The cult members know because I posted an update. It's, you know, the end of the school year, and it's been really, this year has been the hardest just because the students are missing so many basic life skills. I'm really just going for a whole damn skull, aren't I? They're missing so many basic life skills, and it's been so hard to just get them to do stuff like think. And some of them are still, most of it's better overall, but we're still having issues. Also, I've noticed a lot of students have trouble with, what's it called? They have trouble writing just by hand. Their handwriting is really bad. It's similar to that of like a first or second grade student. Really shows, I guess, that skill isn't there. Some of them, very nice handwriting, very level appropriate. But some of them, I joke because I don't want to say it looks like, this looks like a kid's chicken scratch. I can't say that. But I say like, are you trying to give me a migraine? Or, they like the hyperbole. So I'm like, I say I need somebody with good handwriting because I need a team, like some member has to write on the board their team's ideas that they came up with. So I'll check and I'll say, okay, well, your handwriting gives you a migraine. Your handwriting makes me want to kill myself. You're acceptable. Go there. And then there was one student who really is just really into volunteering for everything. And this student writes with pencil, but it's so dark because they're just like pressing into the paper. And so I say, no, my board markers cannot handle the strength that is, and then I say the student's name. And then she laughs, and it's funny, and then I move on. So that's it. Let's see. You look younger in black and white. I know, right? It's because it gets rid of all the wrinkles. Somebody said, oh, wow, your bangs, I like them. You look younger. I said, yeah, because the wrinkles are missing. That's why. So they hide the wrinkles very well. I grew up in the 80s. I never cared about handwriting. These days it seems even more irrelevant with everything being digital. Yeah, I agree with that. But, you're still going to write a little memo. You're going to write a little note. I guess more people are writing their notes digitally, too. It's not the worst thing, if I forget I have a notebook for my meetings that I have with my boss. But, on the off chance that he calls the meeting in the middle of me and the other department head eating lunch, he'll just say, hey, I need to talk to you guys for, 5 or 10 minutes. We'll go in there and we'll type it on our phone. But I prefer everything in my notebook. I don't know why. I don't know if that's a generational thing or what. It just gives it, like, I have everything there, but I guess I would have it if it's in my phone. I don't know. But I'm faster with writing than I am with texting. Because those old phones, you guys remember the old phones that didn't have the keyboard? Oh, we were so fast with texting with that. It was so much fun. Let's get a little on the waterline. What we got? Found that nice handwriting is mostly about consistent letter shapes and the serifs or whatever at the end of each word. Yes, I totally agree. And I've also had to improve writing as a skill because of teaching, right? So for me, my first major was civil engineering, and you have to learn how to do drafting, of course, by hand, and also obviously with AutoCAD. But you have to learn how to letter. And lettering, it's writing in all caps, everything's the same size. And when you first learn how to letter, it's all, what's it called? You measure it. So it's all measured. And it's got to look real, and it looks really good. So I've done that for some students as a punishment. Like, all right, well, instead of you rewriting whatever rule that it was that you broke, you're going to letter it. So you don't write it 10 times. You're going to letter it 1 time, but I'm going to measure it. So after that, their handwriting immediately improves. Immediately. It may take them an hour to do it, but it immediately improves. So it's a good time. Hello, Mauro. Let's see, I've been resurrecting an old laptop to Linux Minty, a bit of a nostalgia trip, really, birthplace of a fanfic, many of them clean. Oh, good. Have you seen the Reddit post? in the handwriting sub by the girl who can change the font of her writing, the one who was accused of having other students write her papers because it changed mid-paper. I haven't seen that, but I would just clock them for it changing. And I hate having to be that. I don't know if I hate having to be that specific. I hate removing points for it, but I do because I have to, especially for my AP students. So if the font color, they don't see the change in font color, and I don't know how they don't. And there's this one student, amazing artist. She's so good. She's so good. And she asked me, how did you see that this wasn't black? And I said, how did you not? It's one of those things you just can't explain. It's not black. You know? So I said, I guess it's because I look at the screen all day and I have to look at writing from you guys all the time. It's just, I don't know, but I mean, you're the artist. You know, how do you not see it? So I'm not sure. This is just a good day look, right? Just a really, just nice, subtle. We like the subtle. You know, I spent all this time, because I wasn't sure what I was going to do, I spent all this time, like, covering my dark circles this morning. Here we are. We're just doing it. Are we just going to really go for skull? Are we going to do, like, the black on the nose? We're doing the hollow cheeks? What do you think? Are we doing that? Or are we just doing skull adjacent? What do you think? Keith's technical drawing class was great. Very effective communication class. Oh, good. I was thinking of having them do that, too. Something where they... based off of anybody's Science Olympiad. So there was this this event. You saw something completed, and you had to write everything, like instructions on how to put it together. And then it was sealed. It was given to your teammate, and your teammate received all the same components, but it wasn't assembled. And they had to use your information, your instructions, to put it together. So that was fun. Styles are your friend. I never set a text color in C2 if I can help it. It's actually easier. Yeah, that's the other thing. The students don't realize, I think they don't realize how to remove color and set it as auto or set it as default. They don't realize that. So they will, and I know that they're doing this and it's fine. They'll copy my instructions into the document. Fine. But I think because it's canvas, it's not black for the font, and it may also come with some kind of background to it, they will just highlight whatever that is. They will hopefully change the font color to black, but then because there's some kind of highlight behind it, maybe a gray or something, they set it to white highlight. I don't think they realized that there's a no highlight option. Everybody sets it to white. And they don't Control A, or I guess Command A, and change it to Times New Roman size 12 black. They just highlight a part of it and change that to Times New Roman. So then if I need to comment something, I'll press enter just to get away from their section or something, or I'll click somewhere else in a blank spot on the document and I'll start typing, and it's in the default, the Arial setting, right? So, how do you not know this? But they really don't know a lot about computers, which I thought was so odd. They don't know how to do left alignment. They don't know how to do hanging indent. And I tell them, don't memorize it. That's fine. You could use ChatGPT for that. That's great. That's a great use of ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT. And I've done it too. I had to take something from Google Docs into a Word document, and I had to submit the Word document. So I take it from Google Docs, put it into the Word document, and my hanging indent format gets all totally messed up. But I've got 5 pages of references. I'm not going to go through all of these in backspace and whatever. So I just asked ChatGPT, and I said, hey, I moved it from this to this, and it's doing this. What do I do? And it tells me how to fix it. It's fixed. How did they use ChatGPT so often to write their papers, but they don't use ChatGPT to actually help them? I don't know. Ola Patriot. Let's see. I will create a style for a single sentence Even if it's for a single sentence, that way I won't lose the formatting if I clear the direct formatting. Yeah, and that's the thing, you know. They also don't know how to clear it, and they don't know that if you copy something, and then the way I do it, just I don't know, because I just do it this way. If you paste it in the URL area, and then you cut it, and then you paste it into the document, it removes all of the style. And so they didn't know that. So they were frustrated that when they copy pasted something, it was the original style from the original website, and then they'd have to go through and undo it, highlight it, and change the background highlight to white, and change the font color to black, and change it to size 12, all this other stuff. They didn't know that if you hover over it, it can just say like post plain text or something, or remove post without formatting, and then or that you can just paste it in the URL, copy it, and paste it. They don't know that. It's bizarre. Use your teeth to get rid of breakfast first. Be more Oxford comma with it. I'm sad that they changed the gun, but at least the gun looks really, it looks like a nice Super Soaker. It really does. Control-Shift-V paste is plain text. Thank you. Yeah, it's something like that, exactly. Most people still use ChatGPT as a search engine, not AI. That's too bad. That's too bad. Yeah, Control-Shift-V works on some stuff, but not all. Weird, since you think it would apply in all cases. You'd think so, right? You can use Windows V. Okay. Let you paste unformatted. Perfect. See? Learn something new. And that's the thing. You interact with people. You talk about what you're working on. But they don't do that. They don't talk to their parents about, you know, this minutia, because their parents might actually know, oh, actually, hey, when I was doing this, blah, blah, blah. You know. Does the Cold Supply cookies and punch? No, it's the lemonade, no punch. We don't drink the Flavor-Aid here. It is Flavor-Aid, by the way. And cookies, you'll have to supply your own, I'm sorry. There's protein bars, but no cookies. I've been using Microsoft AI to summarize emails and chats. It's surprisingly useful. Oh, absolutely. And I've told the students another way that they can use it is when for my AP students, when I'm doing, fuck it. We'll just go in. So when I'm doing, what's it called? Research journals. And for a lot of them, they're like, this is really difficult English for me to know. You know, they're pretty fluent in English anyway. Obviously, they're in an AP course. But yeah, academic, scientific writing, I get it. So I tell them, just go paste what you need into ChatGPT and say, please simplify this language for a 6th grade reading level. And it's very helpful. And I say, I'm not telling you that because I think you're only as smart as 6th graders. I do that. It just makes it, you know, when you're overwhelmed with this information and it's too technical, dumb it down as much as you can while still being understandable. Because if you dumb it down more than that, like if you ask for a 4th grade reading level, it's too simplified. It's the analogies aren't as analogous, so we're good. This is good, right? Add a little black on the nose. Just, why not, right? Why not just go for it, right, guys? Fortune favors the bold. It's one of those sayings that I remind myself of. Let's see. That works. Okay. Still very white. Is that better? Sort of. It looks busted. Gotta correct this nose. Please support the lemons, which exist everywhere. Like the stream. Thank you. Thank you so much, Patriot. Yeah, good. That's my hype man right there, Patriot. Simplifying it or bringing it up to a 6th grade reading level. That's true. There is a problem with academic writing, and there's studies on it that, you know, I've read, that it's very, what's the word? Not isolating. Can't think of the word right now, but you know, when you kind of push people away because something is, it just seems too daunting to take on, and so it just automatically makes people not want to do it. That's what is going on with some of the technical writing for journals. So because it seems too complex, and it's like, well, I need a background in this even to try to tackle what this means, right? I don't know what ANOVA is. I don't know what these terms mean. So they started adding this section, which is like a plain English summary. So there's the abstract, and then it'll say something like plain English abstract. I don't know, that's useful. 4chan favors the poll. 4chan favors something, y'all. Something. That is not... Requires disambiguation to maintain distinction. Yeah, fix it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I usually do a... what's it called? An experiment in my AP Psych class. But I don't... And I hate saying it, and I've told them, so I'm not like... just talking behind their backs. I said, I don't know if you guys can do it. Quite frankly, you know, you guys are having trouble taking they're having trouble summarizing. Just to read something and then summarize it, they have trouble with that, and it's across the board, and they all say the same thing. This is, I'm not sure what's important, so I gave them the wow, Chris sent posted a picture in the Discord live streams, and they just all the handwriting. Wow, that's great. That's it. That's that's effort somebody spent as a kid, and it looks really cool as an adult, but like at the time as a kid probably wasn't as cool, you know. We're good. We're good. Hey, and that does help. Good, we figured out some of the color problem. It was that I didn't have enough black. Okay. I am a teacher, yes. I teach high school social studies. I teach world history, AP world history, and AP psychology, and I teach in Korea. Grizz says, I have almost no use for AI, but as a former Navy nuke, I also have no use for multiple guest tests. And that is, see, like, there's no useless information. There's just information you're not using right now. It's still Panda. It's, you know what, I'll go for Panda. I'm okay with that. Did anybody else, yeah, because we got Patriot here thanking Grizz. Anybody else serve in the military? Just so we can make fun of you. I served in the Marines because I don't know if Patriot knows, so I'm not dragging, well, I am dragging military people. We're a bunch of idiots. When I retire, I want to teach history. It's good. I like it. It's a lot of fun. And I hated history when I was in school. I hated it because it was so boring. And then I learned history. I mean, you know, you grow up watching these documentaries on, you know, ancient Egypt and whatever, and it seems really cool. And then you get really excited as a kid to take these classes, and they're so boring. But I thought, I like history. Why is it so boring to teach it? It's not boring to teach it. You gotta be a weirdo to teach history well. I think that's what it is. You gotta be just kind of weird. Because you look at all the horrible things that humans have done in the past, and you say, ah, yes, interesting, tell me more, you know? My brother was in the 82nd, okay. I'm also the Babadook, we can speak straight, all right. Just a queer heteronormative dude, all right, all right. I know too many grown adults who don't know the concept of an elevator pitch. Tell me the most important highlights of the project in just a couple sentences, then we can go into details later. Yeah, I started limiting them with sentences. I said 3 or fewer, the end. You know, 6 or fewer, that's it. So now that's helped, but there's still some students that just, they don't get it. So I gotta have a one-on-one sort of powwow with one student Monday. So it's sad. It's sad because you can just see how much other classes have favored rote memorization. I mean, that's how these kids even qualify to get into my class, is they have just memorization skills. So you don't know when you get a student who has a 4.0 coming into your AP class, is this a student who just memorizes things and tests well, or is this a student that actually can extrapolate meaning from concepts? I mean, it was kind of interesting. There was a situation where I needed the students to put two ideas together and then explain how they work together to give an example. And they had to make up their own example and how they work together. This was a big problem because the students that memorize well, they know the definition for one, they know the definition for the other, but that's not what I was asking. I was asking them, knowing what you know about the definitions for these two, show how they can be used together, make an example how this can be used together. And they were having a very hard time with that. Other students that are more, it's interesting, the students that are more B, sometimes even C level, struggle sometimes with English, those students tend to have a better job, or do a better job with summaries. They tend to do a better job with getting that information. It's the students that have this like high A+ level that have the hardest time, I've noticed. So it's kind of interesting. Yep, another mention of that elevator pitch. There's no such thing as a run-on sentence if you use the right grammar. That's definitely true. That's so true. I showed the students just examples of like my writing because I wanted to show them how frequently in APA format you have to do in-text citations. And I said, you know, yeah, this is not MLA. We're not doing, you know, flowing into the next paragraph. It's very straightforward, and if you're done with the paragraph, you're done with it. You don't need a conclusion paragraph and all this other stuff. You're done, right? You just go on to the next section. You just put a heading for the next section at the end. It's very straightforward. And I said, if you actually check, I know this looks kind of long, but my introduction is 2 sentences. You know, it's 4 lines, but it's 2 sentences because that's all I need to introduce. But then there's other times you need to introduce things and you have to define how we're using this term here. So I wrote like a paper on cults, I did a video on it, and I had to do the operational definition to show how we're talking about cults, you know. You're eager for continuing education. Yeah, I do. I love it. You could tell I get so excited talking about it. I love what I do. I finished my master's degree, so I did continue education. I finished that last year. I need to submit a paper still. I gotta do that. I joke, I already forgot the beginning of your sentence before you finished it. Try again. Oh, nice. I like that. I would love continuing education, a few days of a refresher on calculus, chemistry, and physics. Yeah, absolutely, right? Absolutely. All right, so you do the calculus. That reminds me of my calculus professor. He said it's the calculus. It's not calculus, it's the calculus. That's what he was. I don't know why he said it that way, but he did. I'm surprised how well having the black on my face, I mean, I guess that makes sense because a lot of my features were getting hidden, and they still are, right? Because it's still just white. You can't barely see these nasolabial folds, right? But it just makes everything come out, so it's easier to see. All right. That's not how you meant it. Oh, okay. Then I missed the joke. Does your audience ever send super stickers? I feel that they are enormously underutilized. Sometimes. I get them sometimes. I appreciated them. I think it's because I don't have monetization on. Now it's on. So I think that's how it works. If you feel like sending it, I do appreciate it. I use it for stuff like caffeine and pain medication. So I need that, definitely. And of course the makeup. It's this makeup. It's from the States. They don't have this type of makeup in Korea typically, so it is kind of a beast to ship it in terms of the shipping cost. I love Dr. Sledge. Love him. Mentioned a teacher is only as good as they are able to immediately switch hats and become a student. That's true. That's true. I totally agree. Thank you, Limited Light. Thank you so much. Color balance with the makeup. I think so. I think it's alright to be in black and white, you know. I've got depression. That's fine. Everything's not desaturated anyway. I think it works out. So I did want to check out a video. There's a few videos that we were going to watch. And I don't know where I want to put. I've got like this two monitor kind of setup. I'm trying to figure out where do I want to put everything. I'll put me here, so if I'm looking there, I'm checking my screen and how I'm looking, which I don't need to do. So that'll get me out of here. All right, that's what I'm saying. Patriot, you're welcome to join every single live stream as the hype man. I appreciate it. Don't watch your educational videos. I'm scared now. Why not limit it? I will say one of my current students accidentally did find the channel, and they came up to me and they said, "Hey, do you have a YouTube channel that's like Ms. Lemon?" And I said, "Yeah." Please don't tell anybody. And I trust the student that they're not going to tell anybody. Your hand got clipped. Yeah, I know I'm not centered on the screen. I'm not centered on the screen because the way that this has to be set up, my while I was putting the other person, like getting their setup in the guest room, I don't know where I put my, what are they called? My metal rods, and I think they might be like under the guest bed. So I don't have anything to actually hold up this this blue screen. So it's leaning forward, and if I actually center it, you're gonna see my floor. That's it. It's very janky setup. Oh, we forgot mascara, you guys. Should we do? You know what we'll do one white and one black. I always do the messed up one or the weird looking one on the left because that's where I get most of my migraines, and it's just kind of symbolic in that sense. I did attempt merch. I still gotta, what's it called? I gotta go find a store that will let me print on a black cup. I don't know what the deal is with that, but the straw for the lemonade that goes through the skull, it goes through the left eye of the skull, and that's why. It's because of my migraines. So I'll usually do stuff on the left side that's kind of busted looking. The corpse paint I did, it was more stretched out and like decaying on the left side. So yeah, that's just how I sort of I guess an Easter egg. Do you do debates, Discord, other events, panels, etc.? If people want me on a panel, I'm happy to join. The big problem is because I'm in Korea, there's a lot of time zone issues that don't really line up too well. And people tend to want to do these debates. A lot of them will be on Sundays, but for me that's Monday. So that's where some of the problems come in. I will go into, what's it called? There's a atheist community Discord, and they will get together and have just voice talks. So I'll jump into that sometimes. Most of my students know about my channel by now. I really hope not. If they do, because they would have said something, I think. The times that I've had students find it, they've said something. So I don't think, my students are not that subtle. I don't know if they are, but not that I've seen. So they would be pretty excited. Whenever they find something of a teacher's, they get very excited about it. So I have like a decoy Instagram for them, because some of the other teachers, they found their Instagram and they immediately just start talking about it. They tell other teachers too. Oh, do you know that we found Mr. So-and-so's Instagram? Oh, look at this stuff of Mr. So-and-so. Oh, did you know that Mr. So-and-so is dating? And da-da-da-da. So they will talk about it. They're not, there's no subtlety. What do we mean SEP? I'm not sure. I know like SEPs and TAPs, that's the only SEPs I know, is for like separation courses for leaving the military. That's the only SEPs I know. Nice corpse face. Thanks. I think it works out. Are you getting made up for something special, a video just for the day? It's for this. That's all. It's just for you guys. The times that you know your students found your channel, they said, I agree. I'm not saying it's impossible that they found something. I am saying that every time that students have found something of a teacher's, there's no hiding it. They always talk about it. So the only benefit that maybe I would have is just that my channel is, you know, videos that are more than an hour long that just talk about it's me reading a book. So maybe that's why. You know, there's no pictures, there's no you know, there's no cool stuff of like, oh, me trekking around Europe, you know, and oh, here's me, you know, like kissing my wife or something. There's nothing like that, right? It's just me reading a book. So they're just like, okay, next. Exactly. They get enough of that in class. Who cares? And it's not that big of a deal. Oh, Ms. Lemon's wearing weird makeup. What a surprise. You know, I don't go this dramatic, but it's not a surprise for the students to see this. You know what I mean? If I showed up wearing this, let me put it this way. We had a school spirit day. It was twin day, and the students participated. The teachers can. It's encouraged that they do, right? So we can show school spirit, but a lot of teachers will not. I do it, the other social studies teacher does it. I don't know, there's something in the water with social studies teachers. So we decided to do twin day, and we both had capes. He had like a Jedi cape, and I just had this woolen elf looking cape. So I said, hey, let's be like a medieval, like, brother and sister. Let's do that. So we did. Nobody noticed that I was dressed up. Until one person said, oh, Lee, are you doing something for the twin day? And I said, yes, thank you for noticing. Because everybody else just thought, well, it's just Ms. Lemon being Ms. Lemon. There was no, you know, I'm walking around looking medieval. I've got my hair like all braided and wrapped up. I have very, very medieval style makeup, which, you know, it's very light so it doesn't jump out at anybody. I had some type of dress that kind of mimics it, and these tall boots that were flat, so again, sort of mimics that look, and then this big green woolen cape with a nice big hood on it. It has this really ornate sort of embroidery for the buttons and everything. And that was just, yeah, whatever. Yeah, she's just rocking a cape and braids as normal. Exactly. Kids can't be ethical or think lying is right. Have you tried potatoes cooked on an open fire? I've tried sweet potatoes cooked on an open fire. I read Frank Turek and now I look like this. Yeah, exactly. It's just a Tuesday. Yeah, they get enough of that in class. Sounds like the name of a standardized test. I have axes, picks, not skills. Not sure, but it reminds me of Diggy Diggy Hole. Alright, hang on. I gotta let the baby out. He's demanding. If I don't let him out, he gets very upset. Alright, baby. Alright, baby. There you go, baby. I don't know if I should leave the door shut. I think that's fine. I don't know. So some of the cats, they give up. But Crook does not give up. He's very demanding. He does not give up at all. So that could be fun. Cosplays Frank Turek. Disgusting. You know, that was the other idea. Did we want to just watch a Frank Turek video? What do you think? So here's a video I've got. Let me set this up real quick. Yeah. So that works. So this guy, my what is it called? My cult members will know this guy because we've watched this dude on, I don't know, we're trying to figure out what exactly this show is. I don't know. It seems very Christian, but in the back there's just array of like an array of boobs. I don't know. So we're trying to just slowly figure out what this is even about. That Cold Case Detective. Oh, don't. I tried reading, what is it, Lee Strobel? Gave him the benefit of the doubt. We're both Lees, right? So I tried reading, what is it, The Case for Christ. I just couldn't. And so I don't know if I even want to suffer through it with you guys. I could not get through that at all. I couldn't. It was, I couldn't even get through the first chapter. I was looking for, I was recommended this so much because, oh, it's about, this, you'll like it, you're analytical, you're an atheist, you need evidence, this guy was a detective, and da-da-da, you're gonna love it, it's very, it's just the facts, it's analytical, it's whatever. Okay, great. I open it up, and we're spending all this time talking about different cups of coffee, and trying, it's like he's cosplaying as somebody who is an author. I don't know. It's just, it's like, you know how the Book of Mormon tried to sound Bible-y? That's what it sounds like. It's like he's trying to sound like he's an author, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't. He's going on about the man's clothing and his whatever. I don't care. I thought I was reading this because I was going to learn about Jesus, and we're going, with Frank and Norm, they did those tangents, and I called them out every time when they had these unnecessary analogies, because we can just dive into it. Why do we need to make an analogy for just talk about Jesus? Isn't that what we're here for? And they're telling us about, what if this happened? Nobody cares. Apollo 11, nobody cares. Like, we're talking about, is God real? This is a really big, don't. You don't have a page, count to try to hit. What are you doing? Lee Strobel's worse than that. At least in the bit that I've read. Because I couldn't even get through it. At least we got through the Turek book. I couldn't even get through chapter 1. It was that bad. Still, it sounded Bible-y, right? Let's see. Let me know if you want to discuss a panel debate. Sorry to be rude and dropping the stream. No, absolutely, no. Yeah, you can connect on Discord if you like. I'll just put a link. I'll just put a link to my Discord, and then, not server settings, stupid. What is this? Invite people. And if it ever, I don't know, disappears or whatever, you'll find the link in the details section of any of my my books. And then, hidden use copy button. Get out of here. Copy. There's the copy button. What do you mean? It still says hidden use copy buttons. This is what I'm saying. These stupid little things. This is ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. Why is this difficult? Generate new link. It still says hidden use copy button. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna go to one of my own videos, I guess. And then I'll find the link because it's there. Ridiculous. This is what I mean. It's always these little, I don't know. Let me tell you, I lost my job. I was working 3 jobs during the 2008, 2009, what's it called? Economic slump, depression, whatever, recession. And I was working that, lost my job, and I was just like, okay, that's all right. We'll figure something out. And then that weekend, I became homeless, and I was like, all right, don't lose your mind, don't lose your head. What can be done? And but this stuff, the link doesn't work. This stuff is very annoying to me. YouTube-redirect. Oh my god, are you so serious? All right, you will. Wait, no, there it is. It's at the bottom. Is that it? HT. Jeez, no. You will have to go to just any recent video. Check the link in the details section. It's there, and then from there you'll see me, very obviously. It's just Ms. Lemon, and it's more necromancer looking profile picture, and then just shoot me a direct message. That's all. Let's see. I was talking about Lee's face. She looks like she just had a burned potato. I don't know. Why do I look like I had a burned potato? I can understand if it looks like I burned myself on a potato, or because I eat the sweet potatoes. You know, they're done when it's cold outside. I have frostbite, 3rd degree. Okay, I like it. Do I have blue? I have blue. It's in my yellow banana. It's called Banana Fetish. And there's one blue. You love it. Oh my goodness. Oh wait, we can't because it disappeared. See? If I put it on my face, will I disappear? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I can't use it. All right. Sorry. We can put a little pink. Let's get a little pink around there. Why not? Little bit of pink. Because my skin is dying and it's burning. I like that idea. We'll be frostbitten today. How about that? Oh, and then with the white eyelashes, that works really well. All right. I think I know what I'm doing for Halloween next year. Can be like a undead, like an undead Elsa. Oh, fantastic. We're there. We figured it out. I just, yeah. I'm already ready for Halloween. It's exciting. Books like that did not help when I was questioning my faith. They went straight in the pile of, boy, it's a good thing I already believe this, otherwise it would sound super fake. Yeah, there was that. I will say with the Hank Hanegraaff stuff, though, it was just a lot of the same stuff I was told in church that I already accepted. So it didn't really cause me to question too much. I will say there were some things that I felt didn't help. So when I was asking, well, why do we have a lot of suffering in life anyway? Doesn't God love us? Why do we have all this suffering? That kind of question. I was always recommended read the book of Job, and I'm like, well, I'm asking you, I'm asking you as my pastor, I'm asking you as my dad, I'm asking you as somebody who, is supposed to be guiding me in my walk with Christ, right? Not just go read whatever, fine. I could have done that by myself, but sure. So when I did read the book of Job, I was just like, that made it worse. Because God was really mean in that. It was, first of all, a bet to Satan, which we all know, but at the ending, which I don't hear a lot of people talk about the ending of Job. The ending of Job, God is basically like, girl, who are you to ask me to do whatever? Were you there when I made the planets? No. Were you there when I made the stars? No. So I don't have to answer to nobody. I'm freaking God. And that was his thing. Because, and it really frustrated me because the only reason, because Job is begging God, please tell me what I did wrong so I could just make it right. Please, I don't understand why this is happening. My kids are dead. My servants are dead. All of our animals are dead. I'm dying, or I feel like I'm dying. I just, please, God, help me. And because God didn't have a good reason, because it was just to win a bet with Satan, or with the devil, with the adversary, right? The adversary. He doesn't say, you know what, Job, this is what you did wrong. He doesn't even want to come clean. Actually, Job, you didn't do anything wrong. This was just a test. He didn't even say that. I guess because he knew that would be too awful to say. Like, yeah, we're just messing with you. It's cool, though. It's just a prank, bro. He didn't want to do that. So he just says, how dare you even question me? And I was so shocked in a bad way reading the book of Job as a Christian. Oh no, it did not improve my walk with Christ. Elsa as a Lich Queen, yes, I need to get some of those contacts. That would be good. Burnt potato that I touched my face. Oh, because the charcoal. I gotcha. I usually eat the skin. Then I found out that they don't wash it very much, so then I stopped. But I usually just eat the skin. Undead Olaf. Probably just, Olaf isn't really alive anyway. He's animated snow, so I would say he's already kind of undead, right? Because he could melt, and then you can reanimate him. Yeah, I think he's already undead. They chroma keyed Charlize Theron's arm away from Mad Max. Oh! Nice. That's what I can do. I can just delete half of my face sometime. That's an idea. Thank you, Menno. Prophecy is like asking whether you came after watching a Mia Khalifa video. Yes, obviously. Jesus. It's yeah, there's always going to be famine. There's always going to be war. What a shocker. I thought it was an angel, not Satan. Isn't the whole thing with the Hasatan? It's let me double check. Cuz I mean, I just typed in Job. Okay, blb.org. Let's not be silly here, cuz it's just showing jobs. Dismiss Job. Land and the land of Uz came to present. And then the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord, and it's capitalized Satan, capital S. There was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them. So that may be where some of the Hasatan kind of comes in. It's not just Satan, but it's like a bunch of his buddies. I guess they came to Gish Gallop God. The God of Job is the God of the fundamentalist Christianity. Stop questioning me and just be glad I didn't end your life. Yeah, basically. Internalizing Job is an important step towards deconversion, right? Olaf's a snow golem. Yeah. One thing I thought of only recently, when Job's wife tells him to give up on God and she walks out on him, she lost her 10 kids too. Oh, absolutely. You know, that's not... She didn't make this agreement with God or anything. And then to hear Christians, because I've seen it on Twitter when people will say, okay, but God gave him, you know, he replenished everything. No, he gave him 10 new kids. And a lot of those people, sadly, you can check like in their bios, they're like, oh, proud father of 3 or something. And so I just ask, are you okay with 3 of your kids dying? Like somebody killing 3 of your kids and then just saying, that's okay, here's 3 different kids. You can have, they're kids, it's the same. Are you okay with that? And of course they don't answer. Oh, that's different. Oh, that's whatever, you know. Yeah, 10 new kids, I'm one of my old kids, exactly. Yeah, it's Satan as the accuser, exactly. He's just got a posse. He shows up with his posse. What's up, Max? Love to see you here. How you doing? Proud father of 3 plus 2 spares, exactly. Oh, I got all this up here. Alright, so let's see this YouTube demon never liberated from victim. That's the title of this. And the confusion, or the questions that I have here, is it a demon of YouTube? Is it a demon that uses YouTube? Is it a YouTube content creator that we're calling a demon? And then never liberated from victim. I don't know. So let's check it out. God must be good, therefore nothing can be admitted as bad. The new kids are much better anyway, much better behaved. Yeah, because they could get disappeared any 2 seconds. Alright, hopefully the window audio works. Please tell me if you guys can hear it. I don't know, I'm going to turn down the sound so I don't blow out your eardrums.
Evil generation. Since the inception of man. It's my first
Can you guys hear that okay?
time, so
Looks like it needs to be louder, but can you guys hear it? 10 times louder? Yeah, how about 20 times louder?
I hope I know what I'm doing, right? I go through the whole rite. I follow the protocols.
Is that better? Or do you want it more my tone? Let me keep it my tone so you don't have to adjust your ears too much.
Exactly.
Like halfway.
She's on the floor, literally.
I think that'll work. Alright, so 10 times, or sorry. Much better, great. Great. At least one thing works. God damn it. Alright, so we got this intro. Pretty cool looking. Alright, what do we got? This dude. Wait, are they talking over this? Most replayed. Hard to take him serious when his neck is eating his collar. Not fat shame him, bro. It's a sin for you, is it? No. Feel free to call it out and feel free to fat shame him. Number 1. Number 2, that's just got to be really, really, really uncomfortable. Okay? I used to be 300 pounds, so feel free to fat shame him all you want. There's nothing good that happens when you're that big. When you bend over and you can't breathe while you're tying your shoes and your face is like burning because all the blood is pumping to your face, that's not good. I don't know why he would want to even be doing that with his collar. Look at his face. He's already a little red. Maybe he's just red, like I'm just pale. I don't know, but yeah. Given the subject, the 0% volume might be much better. Maybe. Let's see what I just don't know where you want to start.
Through a video and felt the demon go into him through.
Okay, great. So.
Why you should never open yourself to the demonic world, because what can happen will bring you chaos, anguish, and fear.
Okay, guys, so we're going to learn why we should never open ourselves to the demonic, because it only brings chaos, anguish, and fear. Where do we think this is going? We know the title is YouTube Demon Never Liberated from Victim. We heard part of a clip, something about the demon going into the person's body because they viewed a YouTube video. It's already great. It's great already. Not sure where this is going, but I'm gonna guess be careful, because if you bank on an exorcism, you may encounter some joke about exorcising and his current weight. I'm not sure. Go fish the devil. Oh god, the tone of this video sounds ridiculous. Through the video, so does it have like an IP? The devil has an IP address. This guy is definitely thinking he can remove demons from people. But he can't, because it says never liberate. Oh, maybe it was never liberated from victim, but he liberated it. All right. Thank you, Victoria. Well, then again, maybe I am Victoria, because of the way your name's written. Yes, Max, I've definitely seen that show. My 600-pound life. They play Magic the Gathering tournament, inviting Satan into their lives. Yep, that was it. Too much Magic the Gathering. I need to get the students to play Magic the Gathering. They'll play D&D, which is good, but Magic the Gathering we need.
Too much curiosity can be a bad thing. Curiosity is not a virtue. So there's people that spend hours.
I'm already mad. Don't think, guys. Don't try to learn. Curiosity is not a virtue. Which story was your favorite? Probably Amber Rockdy, because she started off feeling sorry for herself, and then she got herself together. I really liked it. I really liked that story. Yeah, curiosity is not a virtue. It's obey. That's what my pastor said. He said how would you could summarize the Bible in one word, and like people in the congregation were like, love, and he said obey, and we're like, yes, obey.
Hours a day on YouTube just digging deeper into darkness and occult and black masses and desecration of the Eucharist and all the.
Is that on YouTube? Can we look at desecration of the Eucharist on YouTube? Let's find it. Desecration of the Eucharist. Perfect. What do we got? Destruction, mutilated, desecration of the Holy Eucharist. Desecration of the Eucharist. A man arrested for desecrating the Eucharist at an altar. How do you... Well, I mean, that's... Priest prevents the desecration. Okay. Let's do this one because it's short. For 2,000 years, they shed their blood for me? Oh, the Eucharist. Really? They shed their blood for... That's really pathetic, first of all. Second of all, I feel like it's somewhat blasphemous because it's like, it's supposed to be... Jesus like, this is my body and my blood, but you're shedding your blood. Don't make it about you. It's about him. And the third question, which I still haven't gotten an answer for, is the Eucharist does it count as a protein or does it count as a carb? That is my biggest question, because it's a carbohydrate, but then now it's Jesus' body, so it should be protein. Is the Eucharist something I can fit into a low-carb lifestyle diet? Okay. I don't know, maybe. That, okay. Did somebody shoot somebody? Wait. So we're seeing like they shed their blood for the Eucharist, right? So we see this, and then we see like a guillotine. Was somebody guillotined? How does that work? What would be the setup? Because I'm assuming most people around you would be against the desecration of the Eucharist statistically at a time period when we're using a lot of guillotines, right? So how did this work? Was that person desecrating the Eucharist while lying down on a guillotine, and then you dove in to save them? They rolled off, your head slipped through the hole, and then they pulled it, and they were like, haha. I mean, how does this work? It's kind of like quinoa, it's a bit of both. So you're just made by a 13-year-old bored after a Sunday school lesson. Yeah, JD, hopefully you can catch the rest of it when you guys, or when you're finished, yeah. I think they're just making a video, not if anything happens. They just made a video like an idea board. Yeah, it could be. Look at this, a gun? Who's gonna bring a gun? Okay, but today. Oh wait, what? What is this? Special message. Seems like religitards have launched a Catholic fatwa against me. I have no choice but to produce more videos. Smiley face. I'll work on that next week. Oh no, my email is doomlemons@hotmail.com. Uh-oh. That's it. I've got chills, guys. Oh no, we're gonna get demons coming through the video. Oh no. Is the Eucharist vegan? Ooh. Yeah. That's another good question. It's just a dirty prison toilet? Okay. But what? Okay. Well, yeah, we like this is cool. Oh, it's because it's women. Oh, see, this guy looks like a clown. Whatever. But then it's women. They're not in favor of women being in charge of the church. Notice that to whoever this is, an actual Hail Satan, Baphomet, Black Mass is equivalent to women preaching in a church. I know, he's a Lemonite. That's it. Eucharistic desecration. Flash warning is how we repay our Savior. Okay, I can't do with the flash warning. I can't. So the flashing, I don't have epilepsy, but it does increase migraines. So let's see. We got flash in here. It is time to stand for the king. Is this like a thing that Catholics think is happening? That people are just going around desecrating the Eucharist? Because we could. So I asked yesterday on my community tab if I should I'm thinking about just getting like a nun habit. Just not a real one, but realistic enough. And maybe we could do that. We could desecrate a Eucharist. Does that sound interesting? That sounds like fun. We can do that on some day, like Halloween or something. That sounds fun. I still need to make that Ouija board. Alright, so this was a whole lot of nothing. I thought, it says caritas. I don't know what that means, but I thought it said carnitas. And I was like, oh yeah, meat in truth. While distributing communion during Sunday Mass on January 16th, I'm assuming that's Friar or Father, probably Father, Simon de Violet, an associate pastor at the Holy Spirit Parish, was confronted by a man who received the host before smashing it to bits. Okay. I also like how it's called a host, because it's the snack cake hosting Jesus' body, throwing it on the ground, a gesture of great violence for the church, a gesture of great violence. Not like all the little kids that are being harmed, right? No, that's not great violence. It's when the cracker is smashed. Okay. A desecration required a mass of reparation to be celebrated the following Wednesday. Oh, so if you desecrate something, you force them to have like another church service. That's kind of fun. A scene of great spiritual violence took place on Sunday. One of the vicars was distributing whatever. Okay. A man arrived, held out his hand to receive the body of Christ, but instead of bringing the sacred host to his mouth, he lifted it to the height of his face, crushed it into 1,000 pieces before letting it fall to the ground. Oh my goodness. Also, why is this great violence? You believe that Jesus was beaten to death and, like, crucified, right? Like, beaten to hell and then crucified to death, right? But like, the cracker crumbling, that is the great violence towards Jesus. Everything happened very quickly. Well, I hope so. I hope that it didn't take him, 5 minutes to smash a cracker. He took the host, raised his hand, and crushed it as one might do with a potato chip. That should tell, like, whoever said that should maybe rethink their belief system. Like, that's my God, the potato chip. The man replied it was for Nadia and left. Well, good. Good. I don't know what happened to Nadia, but I'm sure this was warranted. His hands were a bit swollen with some wounds, as the case with people who use drugs or alcohol excessively, but he was fully conscious. So we're just, like, assassinating his character anyway. Like, he's lucid, but he looks like he's a drug addict. The priest asked the people to step back, try to pick up the particles the best he could. Don't they have, like, a holy vacuum or something they could just use? That's it. Okay, so what? Another case of against communion in the hand. The Lord have mercy on us. Lord, I believe, adore, blah, blah, blah. I'm just gonna ask. I'll just ask. And that's great, since my profile picture is now me with corpse paints. This is gonna be even better for me to ask this a question. I have a question as a non-Catholic. Don't Christians believe that Jesus suffered greatly on Good Friday? If so, is this really great violence to crumble a cracker? I don't know. That's my question. Hopefully I won't be, like, I mean, I hope they get, I'm really asking this question. Using them as a soup thickener. Ooh, maybe. How do you receive it? And I think because he took it. He accepted it, and then did that, threw it on the ground, and he's like, for Nadia, and he left. I like it. But what if he was trying to do that thing where you pour out a little alcohol for your fallen buddies? He was trying to give Nadia some of the Eucharist. Maybe it wasn't desecration. Maybe he wasn't Catholic, but Nadia was. And he was just trying to honor her memory by letting her, a little Eucharist for my fallen homies. That kind of thing. Breaking the habit, desecration of the Eucharist by a nun of none. Oh my God, that's so good. My eyes disappear. Oh no, that's the demon. It's the demon. It's coming out. Sister Nancy, bring the holy Hoover, exactly. Ooh, they have to clean up the Eucharist pieces with a dirt devil. Nice. Guy drops cracker in church, right? Lee Lemon in the chat, like, bruh, what is going on in that video? It's so underrated. Thank you. I appreciate that you guys enjoy my humor. Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. You pour out the alcohol. You remember your fallen homies. All right. So we watched that video. What other video were we supposed to watch? Oh, Black Mass. Okay. Not Blast Mass. Black Mass. What do we got? Official trailer. Black Mass satanic? I don't know. A satanic Black Mass. Who's this? Aaron Ra? Sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, we got bagpipes. Hang on. I want to hear that.
From patriotic songs
Holy Mary, Mother of God,
to prayers,
okay.
Catholics showed up in force outside the Civic Center protesting the Black Mass.
For Catholics, it's the most grievous offense against God that you can commit.
Really? Not blasphemy? Well, I guess it's a form of blasphemy.
Hundreds were even bussed in from out of state.
We came down here to show our displeasure in a prayerful, peaceful way, to show our support for God.
So these, I'm assuming the satanic Black Mass is just them being satanic. And look, I appreciate Satanism. I do. I appreciate the philosophy of Satanism. I do. I would say, yeah, atheistic Satanism, definitely. I like it because it's yeah, I'll be honest, you know, especially I was a teenage edgelord, and that there's a part of it that appeals to me. But the big thing that I like about it is that you can immediately find who is willing to talk to you and who isn't. They're willing to talk at you, because it's kind of a, you know, how receptive is this person to having a discussion, right? Same thing with atheists. You know, you lead with atheists, and somebody recently, yesterday, said no, that I'm agnostic, and it was weird because it wasn't even about theism. It was a question about God versus abiogenesis, and he says, well, you have to choose one, and I said, you don't. Somebody could just say they don't know, and he said, oh, well, you're agnostic then. It doesn't even make sense, but whatever. So you get to kind of see where that person's head is when you present them with that. But the big thing that I'm trying to say is that these are just Satanists hanging out, doing their thing. And these guys have to come in, bust from out of state to protest it. Which is kind of weird. How many people come protest your masses? How would you feel about that? But that's what they're gonna do. That's the most offensive thing to them. Not rampant homelessness. Not people being ignored and dying of drug use in the streets. There's nothing better they could be doing with their day except protesting a black mass. Praying, I'm sorry, not even, well, I guess it's a protest, but they're just praying, really. That's the best thing they can do with their day. Not actually help anybody. Because God is that upset. And they're just, I don't know. If that's what you think God wants you to do, it really shows where God's priorities are, doesn't it? Satan is gonna Satan, exactly. Bagpipes, a manifestation of the goddess one. Right, because they've got the horns coming out. Satanism has a philosophy. I thought much of it was fetishism and incarnationism, like the Necronomicon and such. It depends on which type, but it's like the LaVeyan Satanism is the 9 satanic statements. LaVey was an atheist. He just did it just to be an edgelord, and I like that there are people that are there that are asking the religious folk in the country to question, to kind of hold up a mirror and saying, we're doing exactly what you're doing, but you find us to be detestable. This is how we find you. You know, they're doing it as like a satire, you know. But I do agree with like the 9 satanic statements. It's helped me really like to have them just as a reminder, or to have some kind of satanic symbol to remind myself to keep those tenets. I like it because, you know, we humans like symbols, we like ritual, you know, and LaVey knew that. There's no magic, it's all like psychology and stuff. He knows that too. So any use of the word magic, if you go across LaVeyan Satanism, as far as I understand, he's just talking about just, you know, psychology, placebo effect, that sort of thing. And just the fact that we like ritual, whatever. But one of the things that, you know, I had a tendency to not take care of myself and to always put others first at my detriment. And this also happened at work. So it wasn't like for friends or, you know, romantic partners or whatever. It was like in every situation that my time is worth nothing, and I should always make sure other people are doing better and that kind of thing. So it made me in a lot of ways not stand up for myself and for my time, and not respect my own time and my health. So it was a nice reminder to kind of just say, hey, you know, I don't have to do that, and it's also not even beneficial if I do. So Anton DeLevy was just doing it for satire. Yeah, he's just no, he was just having fun. He was just got together with some of his buddies on an afternoon. He's like, let's just do that. I mean, whatever. Aren't they really looking for fire from the sky? Oh yeah, they want
in our faith and to stand up to Satan.
Absolutely.
Some of the protesters, though,
I reject Satan. God always, Satan never. A black mass is hate speech. Oh girl, get over yourself. For God to be on our side, we must first be on his side. Saint Joan of Arc. Yeah, that was fun. She shows up in the history book, so I have to mention her. And I'm just like, yeah, so she's remembered, you know, very famously in history, but It's actually kind of sad because, of course, we don't have any evidence of this. Quite frankly, she could have just been a poor delusional teenager who decided to join the military and the most predictable thing happened, which is really upsetting that people just kind of let it happen. How can we have a black mass and expect God to bless America? I'm assuming that's what it says. May God accept our loving act of reparation for the monstrous black mass. I reject Satan. Pray for the urgent conversion of America. And again, there's just like kids here. I used to have to go to these types of things.
Started fighting amongst themselves as different factions of Christianity collided.
So, they're out there protesting the Black Mass, but they're different Christian sects. So they're arguing with each other instead. If that, they can't even unite against a common enemy when they see each other. Like, uh-oh, Protestants, uh-oh, evangelicals, uh-oh, Catholics, oh no, Orthodox. That sidetracked them.
The Roman Catholic Church is just as satanic as the Black.
The Roman Catholic Church is just as satanic as the Black Mass. Was Aleister Crowley also atheist doing satire? I think Aleister Crowley was serious. From all my understanding, I think he was serious.
That's
Which is why I'm not. Okay, he was just like into the occult. Yeah.
Civic Center employees took security
I agree,
precautions
Ziz.
and allowed ticket holders to come in the side entrance
Okay, cool.
and kept protesters away from the area.
Look at that. They're just hanging out, having a nice time.
I respect their right to do what they're doing. So long as they leave us alone, we'll leave them alone. You know?
Yeah. See? That's the thing. So some people, they mention, and I've seen it in like heavy metal, what's it called? Comment sections. They'll say they look the meanest, but they're the nicest, and it's, well, yeah, because number one, being reminded of like death and skulls and whatever, it reminds you to live well because you too will die. It's the that memento mori. It's a classic kind of thing. But also, if you're listening to stuff that's like headbanging, screaming, good time, you get all that frustration out of you. So that's one of the things I do when I get frustrated, like at work and stuff. On my break or after work, I'll just listen to some metal, and it just goes away.
The Satanists are going to be cowards and go in the side door.
The Satanists are going to be cowards and go in the side door. Yeah, we don't want to get beat up by the Christians because we know what they did to people in the past. Like, you guys have no problem killing people. Yeah, that's cowardly.
Those who pushed the envelope too much were arrested.
Great.
I warned you.
Only people with tickets were allowed inside.
Okay.
Even a man dressed as Satan couldn't get in without one.
Thought it might be interesting. I wanted to.
That's nice. I think that if Satan was real, he would appreciate that. Like, sorry, Satan, you can only get in with a ticket. And he'd be like, yeah, but I'm actually Satan. Yeah, but you didn't have a ticket. And he'll be like, well, fair.
To see what it was all about. Personally, I'm atheist, but I'm interested.
Yeah.
I actually traveled here all the way from Louisville, Kentucky to be here. I'm someone who follows more of like the atheistic form of Satanism, so I believe that I'm my own God. To me, this is coming to see another form of it.
One protester who somehow made it past police tried to get inside the door and shouted, "Jesus loves you."
He still loves.
I just like that they think that matters. That's the best they can do, is just to tell us that Jesus loves us.
them. He'll always love them. I just wanted to know that. I wanted to get in there so I could say that to them. I don't know if they heard me.
I mean, it doesn't, so what? That's like saying Little Red Riding Hood loves you. Okay, I mean, thanks.
She stayed just outside the doors praying and refused to leave
No,
when
that's what
police
happens.
asked her to.
But see, she wants to. She wants to get arrested for Jesus. She wants to get persecuted for Jesus. Man, I see you, girl. I was there, right there with you.
Don't want to leave. We have to make you leave, is what you're telling us?
Satan
She
will
was
bear reproof,
arrested,
yes.
and the man dressed as Satan was led away as well.
Oh, sorry,
In the end,
Satan.
only 42 ticket holders showed up for the Black Mass,
Okay.
a stark contrast to the hundreds protesting outside.
That's it, man. I like how the actual people possibly interested in the Satanic Black Mass were like, you know what, I got better things to do today. Others were like, yeah, let's just try it. I'm kind of interested. But most of them were like, it's not worth my time. But all of these Christians showed up to argue with each other, Alright, so is anybody possessed? Like right now? I don't think I am. So we saw black mass stuff. Eucharist desecration. Okay.
These horrible things.
Horrible
And
things.
again, the demons can inflame our passions and put thoughts in our head that can twist things. So we are thinking one thing. I had one guy who was possessed. He went on YouTube and tried to open his third eye.
Okay, we gotta open our third eye. Guys, ready for this? Open third eye. Frequency. How do we do it? We're trying. Alright. Oh, we gotta ask. Okay, a test. Is my third eye already open? Alright, let's check. Okay. What is a number sending you between 1 and 100? 66. What do you guys think? I'll take a drink of my other drink. Oh, it's got a skull on it. Oh, cool. The skull has a strawberry in it. Oh, I like it. That's nice. 537. Yeah, the third eye. Pterosaurus is scared, so that's how we know it's really scary. 42. When guys like this mention the third eye, tons, and demonology, they usually get busted on some kind of sex scandal. Right. Okay, let's find out. Opening my third eye right now with my espresso. Good. Alright, let's see. Okay, 66. I'm gonna say 56, that's what I'm feeling, but 66 is what I'm saying, just for fun. We're all right. Yay, everybody's a winner. So what's the answer? What's the answer? I had 77 at the beginning. Wasn't 100% clear, but it definitely felt like a 7. Pretty wild. Immediately get 73. Huh. We're all connected. 77, 77, 77, 77, 77, 72, 37, 77, 30. I'm just going to put 66.6. There we go. Again, just to see. It actually 47 exactly correct. 37, 37, 37, 73, 37, 33. Wow. 33, 54. I guess, well, Ziz, you're right. It's 3. It's 3 and it's 7. Why has it got to be a third eye? Where are my glasses? I actually have 4. What about my eyes? Yeah. Transcendental elevation meditation to lift us from this lowly station. All right, so we've checked our third eye. Oh, third eye exercise. What do you see? I see, I was going to say a migraine just as a joke, but I see Cthulhu. Does anybody else see Cthulhu? I see Cthulhu. He's just like right here. Blah, 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 blah. That's Cthulhu. That 69 would have the highest frequency. No, it's just the number that is practiced with the highest frequency. I see Cthulhu. Is it one of those magic eye things? Hang on. No. Almost. No, I'm just gonna say Cthulhu. Wool blanket, desert, microbes. Us glasses wearers opening the 5th eye. Good. Alright, what do we got? From Owl Spiritual. What's he adding to this, by the way? I mean, I guess me, well, I'm talking, you guys get to see me, interact with me, I'm talking. But what is he adding? He's just, look at him. This is one thing I don't understand with some shorts. It's when people post something, especially if it's posted from somebody else, and all they do is like, they look at it to the side, and they're like, and they have there's no talking, there's no reaction, there's no nothing. You know? So he's just looking at us. Looking up, looking at us, smile, looking up even harder. And then he's shrugging. What do you see? Okay, they add nothing. Yeah, I don't. Those are my I always give them a dislike. I'm gonna give them a dislike. 20 dislikes. Can't get over how effective the hidden pineal gland activation. Well, okay. I see men sitting in the same position. I saw a skeleton demon face. I saw skeletons! So was our eye open, closed, or squinting? Uh-oh, it's from another Lee. Oh no. Saw it dismissed. I saw it then dismissed as me being butts until I found these 2 comments. Okay. 3 infinity loops in vertical direction, perpendicular to x-axis. Oh, I've seen a skull. Then search it up and says a skull is a reminder that everything in life is transient. We should have the willpower to choose how we live it. Didn't I just say that? I just said that, right? Uh-oh. You guys, is my third... Am I infested by the YouTube demon? That's it. That's it. We've proven it. We have proven it. Because I just said a thing, and then this person says the same thing, because they saw it in the third eye video. Oh. You guys. I think we need to watch this guy's video, because I think I'm going to get possessed, or I'm already possessed. Uh-oh.
Through a video. And felt the demon go into him through...
Algorithmo, save us. Speaking of, that reminds me of Orgasmo. Hilarious. That movie was insane. Not Third Eye Blind. Nice. I know, I have a semi-charm kind of life.
The YouTube video. No disrespect to YouTube, but that's what he did.
Well, why would it be disrespectful?
His name is John. I worked with him for 2 years.
2 years. It took you 2 years to fail? Wow. That's it. Lemon is still on the branch. Hell's shut. That's it.
And we never got him fully liberated. So obviously, with the advent of our culture, we all have a phone in our hand now.
Okay.
With access to both good and evil. You know, the phone's neutral, but you can use it for bad things.
That's true.
And you can get into bad things with it.
Okay.
I would say the reason 3 times
Dark
Our
Lemon.
Lady.
What's up, Paul?
So back to Medjugorje. Medjugorje is this place where she's been appearing to these 6.
Paul, if you just joined us, we found out that I have been infested by demons. This guy's telling us, this is YouTube demon never liberated from victim. And while we were going through some of the things that the person, the victim in question, was going through on YouTube. So we went through it just to see if we could get possessed. And I said something about skulls being a reminder, like a memento mori. It's a reminder that we will die, so, you know, you have to live well. And then when we were trying to check to see if our third eye was already open, that's exactly what this person said. So we've confirmed I have been possessed by the YouTube demons. So we're trying to figure out, what do I do next? Are these guys orthos? You guys are kind of nice, but way too beta? I don't know.
Kids since 1981. So 43 years.
43 years.
Every day, the Blessed Mother appears to at least 3 of these children. 3 of them have all 10 secrets. They only see her once a year. And we don't need to get into the
No, I don't
mechanics
think
of
they're
all that. But
orthodox.
at least 3 of them are seeing her every day for 43 years.
Okay. That doesn't tell you it. That's weird. Why is he looking to the side? That's odd to catch that here. Embrace the YouTube demons. They're not so bad. That's true.
Something is happening. Like if heaven is trying to alert the world that there's a problem like never before.
Heaven's trying to alert the world that there's a problem like never before. So, the Virgin Mary appears to 3 people 1 time a day for 43 years. That's the best they can do to alert the world that there has been a problem like never before, which has gone on for 43 years, which I guess it's a problem people are dealing with. I don't know. But that's the best they could do. Kids see an image or report seeing an image once a day for 43 years. And that's heaven's best attempt to let us know, whoa guys, that's worse than Jesus showing up. You know what I mean? That's worse. Yeah, it could be the cue card. Just contribute to the Patreon. Yes, please. That's it.
Occasions in these messages she gives to the world, sin is at an all-time high.
Sin's at an
This
all-time
is the
high.
most evil generation since the inception of man.
Okay, the most evil generation since the inception. This is the guy this is actually this guy's show. We're not really sure what the show is about because we've only seen this guy talk to the other guy. But if you go to this guy's channel, it's mostly not this pastor priest guy that's here. So he's just on frequently enough. But what was I just talking about?
High.
Evil's at an all-time high. According to what metric? How are we determining this? I mean, nobody's been fire brimstoned, right? So it's not Sodom and Gomorrah levels bad. That sounds really bad. But if it's worse than that, but we haven't been fire brimstoned. The flood, wasn't it okay because absolutely everything was evil? Like even babies were evil, so we had to delete and start over. But this generation's more evil than a generation that annoyed God so much that he flooded the earth. See, God is worse with his anger than I am. Jeez, at least I just listen to like Viking metal.
Is the most evil
Got
generation
demonized by YouTube. Better than demonetized.
since the inception of man. Worse than the flood.
Menno's hilarious. I love Menno. He's a very good writer.
Worse than Sodom and Gomorrah.
Oh, it's worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. Oh my gosh, I predicted that. My third eye really is, it's really just rocking today. Okay. That's why my head hurts. Oh, got it.
Now,
It's not
and I think part
migraines,
of
it's
that
my third eye. This is Sean Ryan's show, a MAGA adjacent fellow who doesn't really understand Christianity. One day I'm going to cover his Lee Strobel interview. Paul, I have a week off coming up, the second week, or the first real week of what's it called? May. So if you wanna have help, because I'm not a fan of Lee Strobel. Don't know all that much about him except that I could not read his book because it was so bad. Yeah. New SIH. Did you mean new-ish, or is it like a SIH means something? Because this, yeah. But I mean, MAGA adjacent, that explains why it's so fundamentalist.
has to do with the fact that we can instantly communicate with everybody around the world.
Okay.
And we are propagating sin
Okay.
in a way
new-ish.
we never used to. If you wanted to have a sexual sin, you had to go do it with somebody. But now
That's
we can
true.
just open a phone and do things on the phone.
Yeah, but couldn't you just do things by yourself? I mean, it's a sin to do it by yourself, right? That's what he believes. You don't have to do it with somebody. And unless you're Rasputin, then you do it with a lot of people. Because then that's the best way to sin. He was a tactician, game over, not a philosopher, plus Christianity doesn't need understanding. I see. Thought sin
and
was in the mind. Right.
lust-
All you have to do is just want it. It's just lusting. It's as if you would have committed a sin. I totally read New Sith. I like it.
Angeles is California, but mostly Los Angeles.
Okay, most of Los
Number
Angeles.
one exporter of pornography to the whole world.
Okay.
Something like 65% of it's all made in California.
Well, that's good. I mean, I think that makes sense because it's close to Silicon Valley, and we've seen that the porn industry, it pushes some technologies that are really cool, like trying to get realistic adult toys and trying to have them feel real. I know that helps with creating realistic prosthesis. So, that's kind of cool. Blu-ray won out because they allowed adult videos and HD DVD did not. Same with, VHS and Betamax, but I'm sure you guys know that already. The 3D stuff, or the VR stuff, a lot of that was also put forth by them. Yeah, so they're actually kind of a groundbreaking industry. So, it does make sense. Which Lee Strobel's book were you referring to? For me, Case for Christ. Couldn't get through the first chapter. I would like, the only reason I would read it is to suffer through it with you guys. That's the only reason. I couldn't. Just couldn't.
We should be not only ashamed of that statistic as Americans, but fearful for the kind of things that they're opening up
Like
to
what?
the country with that kind
What are they opening up besides, like, their body? You know what I mean?
of filth with the demonic world.
Porn industry killed smell-o-vision, though. I'm sure somebody, somewhere.
And then you look at the rest of Hollywood and how there's a lot of other problems. I just saw Nicole Kidman has a new movie coming out who alleges to be Catholic.
Okay, Nicole Kidman alleges to be Catholic. New
They
movie
almost gave it an X rating.
as an X rating.
In our day and age, imagine that. So they had to cut stuff to get it down to R.
Okay.
But she has a preoccupation. It's having an
I mean, who wouldn't want to watch Nicole Kidman in an X-rated movie? Put it out. All new tech to be used. Exactly. Don't age me out here. I already feel older than Methuselah. Christianity is the religion of self-worship, which has a 2,000-year history at this time. I would say blood. They're more into like death cult stuff than I am.
affair, but also preoccupation with sex with animals.
Sex with animals. So we would, okay. How long has he been talking about porn, sex, and just like going into the sex? Because aren't we supposed to be talking about the guy named John? Which, interesting, he's John, and we're talking about like sex work. But John, who was possessed by YouTube demons, and he's just going off on this tangent like, did you know? They got a lot. It reminds me of that, who was that preacher? Oh my God, African preacher doo-doo. Where's it at? The doo-doo. Oh, I guess I'm gonna have to type it in here. Gay sex. No. Okay, it was about this guy who was talking about why, okay, Joel Osteen, seriously, he's in his 60s. I don't know what he's doing with his skin, but that is devil worship right there. That's how you get it. It's devil worship. Good skin. 60s? Good skin. He's like 67, 68. Like, he's near 70. Look at him. And my favorite meme about him is like he looks like a level 1 wood elf that's gonna offer you a side quest, because it's the truth. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. Anyway, definitely sacrificing babies. So the doo-doo gay sex one, you guys have probably heard about this. It's this pastor who's talking about why gay sex is bad, and he's talking about all these things he's seen that has to do with gay sex, like with the porn. And he's going on about like they put the doo-doo in, they put it in their hand and they put it in their mouth. They poo-poo in each other's mouth. All this. I'm like, dude, you were just like looking on some German site, first of all. But why do you know so much about it? And so he's like, yeah, did you know there's a lot of sex with animals and stuff? Like, where are you looking? Why are you? Because I don't think most of you have seen that, unless it was by accident because you were on 4chan. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is not something that when you look at a website that has these videos, that is not one of the things that will usually pop up in the top 5 or top 10 recommended, right? So, and even still, you know, it's just like, well, is that, like, is it just the one video? Is it because a lot of people are searching for it? Or is it one of those things where the algorithm kind of favored it, but overall it's actually not that popular? So this is one of those things you don't just get into, right? But he's like, oh yeah, you know, there's lots of that. And there's so many. Let me guess, he's gonna go list the animals, dogs and horses, and like even an elephant this one time. Gotta go. So thank you so much, Patriot. We'll see you later. RIP your YouTube search algorithm. I know. Adrenochrome, yeah, it's the adrenochrome. Joel Osteen is a shifty fella. He navigates popular culture and adjusts his form of Christianity to that. Pastor John Hagee does that as well. Yeah, there are some guys that are really just up to date. They're good. Do your own research, takes on a new meaning. I know. Different one, the poo-poo sermon. Is that what it is? African preacher, poo-poo sermon. No. We see this little kid screaming. The best version of this, though, was the X-Files episode where it was about that kid. If you're on 4chan, it's not an accident. Fair. Yeah, that's fair. Then there's the American pastor who was like, the gays are putting semen into lattes. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it with a straight face. I'm sorry. Really had to search for that. Yes, exactly. Sorry. I was gonna make a joke about having a latte, but I thought that would be funnier, and I didn't want to choke. Because then it would have sprayed everywhere, and that made it worse. Corpophilia is definitely niche. My mother was a doctor, and that's how I found out about it. Interesting. We had a guy in MOS school. This is back when there was like DVD players, so it looks like a laptop. It folds open. I mean, you guys know what this is. You guys are all like around my age. So he would somebody would mention something like, yeah, this guy, I don't remember his name, and we'll just call him Jones. And this Jones guy Man, if he's got this really weird video, man, you don't want to see it. And somehow every time you would say that, it summoned him, and Jones would like jump in and be like, "Do you want to see it?" And then he'd run and get his DVD player and just make you watch it. And you can't look away because it's just so bizarre, right? And that's, yeah, but even then I think I knew about it before because, yeah, I was on 4chan. And to me, I was like, oh, you guys don't know what this is. Okay. How do I know more about this stuff than you guys do? Okay. And that was it. Like, he's like, oh, check it out. I'm like, yeah, it's scat. And it just, oh, okay. You know, it was the same when there was, I don't remember what the context was, but our gunnery sergeant, he was yelling for something. I don't know. He had everybody, and he was just yelling at us. I don't remember what it was about. And he said something like you're all standing around with your mouths open like you're some kind of goddamn fluffers. And I just laughed. I was just like, and he goes, really? Really? The only female here is the one that gets it? And I was like, hey, Gunny. You know, it's just, okay, good. I'm glad you laughed, Chris. You know, Lee Strobst has an entire book franchise. I've heard of it. Other books, The Case for God, Case for Faith, Case for Migraines. Is that what it's called? Because that's what's going to happen. Well, I guess it's the case for us to read, huh? I kind of want to get each of these books like a paper copy and then just burn it at the end. And then we could use part of the covers to make the Ouija board, right? Lee Strobel, case closed for his obituary. Oh my god. It has to. If not, we could make a pilgrimage to his grave and put that there. Because I think if his family saw it, they wouldn't see it as anything insulting, I think. That's why I think it would be okay. You know, you don't want to go upset the family, you know. However much we don't appreciate these people, they do have family, and we don't want to be upsetting to them. But I think if we did that, it would almost look like a tribute to him. And I guess it would be in a way if everybody spent money to meet up and go visit. Yeah. It'd be kind of like a nice troll, you know? The case for inherited residuals, yeah, exactly. Despite the book, Lee Strobel actually has an interesting background. You could just read the intro and nothing else. That might be doable. But without the suffering, am I really your savior? That's the problem. We've learned suffering equals love. All right, so sex with animals. Please don't list the animals.
So we're going to a whole new level. And this is a mainstream film. That
What do you mean we're a whole new level? Sex with donkeys is mentioned in the Bible. What do you mean we're starting to go to a whole new level? Sir.
teenagers are going to watch and maybe get hooked into something even darker.
That's why you have to talk to them about it. That's why.
Okay, this is my issue with Hollywood.
Also, far be it for a religious person to talk about, oh, I don't want the minors to get into sexual activities.
Do not tell me you're Catholic and then produce such filth and drag other people into your mess.
Well, was Nicole when was this? 2 months ago. What movie is Nicole Kidman doing where there's sex with animals? Is she saying that's what it has in it? I don't know. Nicole Kidman, I guess 2025? It says she's taking a break for the rest of 2025 after making 3 films. Alright, so which 3 films? I can't look at this. Baby Girl director defends age gap depicted in the Nicole Kidman movie. It should be completely normalized. Well, what's the age gap? Okay, Baby Girl stars Kidman, 57, as a married tech company CEO named Romy, who engages in a risky affair with an intern at her company named Samuel, who's 28. Okay. That seems like whatever this is. Because I saw because it looks like that, you know. There it is, this one. So it looks like she's about, you know, doesn't look like she's looking up at him because he's tall, you know what I'm saying? this is probably what he's talking about. I don't think it has sex with animals, and it doesn't even. I mean, honestly, it doesn't even seem like a good movie. The only reason to see it is because Nicole Kidman's hot. That's it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and she's just a good actress. But that would be the only reason to watch it. I don't know.
That teenagers are going to watch and maybe get hooked into something even darker.
Okay.
Okay, this is my issue with Hollywood. Do not tell me you're Catholic and then produce such filth.
So notice what he did. He didn't say the movie itself includes this. He's just saying that she's in a movie. This movie had to cut out some risque scenes. And then also in Hollywood, they produce a lot of adult videos. And because they produce a lot of adult videos, some of them are pretty intense, such as adult videos with animals, which is terrible. I mean, children can see this, and then they get this in their mind. Anyway, so don't tell me you're Catholic and then work with Hollywood. Notice how he said that. He didn't say anything about Nicole Kidman actually doing any of those things. Eyes Wide Shut. No, because it's from 2 months ago. He says that it's something recent she did. Don't tell this guy about Chicken Jockey. Yeah, no doubt, right? Yeah, Baby Girl, that's what it is. It's about having an affair with a younger man. And it's not even a younger, I mean, it's a younger man, but he's like 28, you know? It's not, I mean, is it softcore? Probably, but that's what he could get on. He could say, you know, it doesn't have to be extreme. God hates all levels of this lustful whatever, even if it's just something that we might see as culturally acceptable to put on at a theater. It doesn't even have to be X-rated. How can you call yourself Catholic and still do these types of video or movies, right? That would be okay for him to say. That, I mean, he'd be, you know, obviously judgmental. I wouldn't agree with him, but that would be fine for him to say. But for him to talk about all this other stuff that's not in the movie as if it was in the movie, as if Nicole Kidman is engaging in sex with animals in a movie, that in a movie that now can get a R rating and played at a theater for mass consumption, that's what he's implying, right? So it's, yeah, that's a problem. A quality of life. Thank you. Hello, Mage. Yeah, we have, so I've been possessed by YouTube demons, according to this guy, because we went down watching videos that he watched, or he said that somebody got possessed. This video is called YouTube Demon Never Liberated from Victim. And we know that I got possessed because I said something and then it showed up in the comment section in another video. So obviously my third eye is very open, which is one of the problems the guy listed. Okay. Also, we just went for whatever makeup at the beginning, especially to offset how white my face was looking, and we ended up with this. So you're caught up.
And drag other people into your mess and then come to church on Sunday and sit in the pew.
Okay.
Excuse me.
How can you
It's
do
not
that?
okay.
Now, to bring up, I forget who mentioned it, but to bring up what was brought up, you are clearly under the sin of gluttony. So that's okay for you to abuse your body as God's temple, right? That's okay. And all the stuff in the background back here that's all kind of fuzzy, this is a wide array of alcohol, which again, this isn't this guy's show, it's the other guy's show. You guys said it's Sean Ryan was his name. So it's the other guy's show, so yeah, it's probably the other guy's booze. But you're here in front of the booze. It's always in a shot with you. It's almost as if you're endorsing it, you know, because Nicole Kidman isn't having sex with animals, but maybe videos about sex with animals are being produced in Los Angeles, and Hollywood's in Los Angeles, and Hollywood makes, like, it's even less of a degree of separation than what he's trying to say about Nicole Kidman. That's my point. And that's okay. But Nicole Kidman committing what you see as a sin and going to church, that's wrong. But you committing these sins and going to church, that's fine. And remember, all sins are equal in the eye of God, in the eyes of God. So that's why he who is without cast the first stone. You know what I'm saying? Is he really using one movie where the age gap is in favor of the woman to be angry about age gaps? You know what, Finkelstein? I don't even think it's that. It's that in the movie, he was making the argument that it was so racy, it would have received an X rating, so they had to cut out a lot of scenes to make it R. And he's only talking about Nicole Kidman because she says that she's Catholic. That's why he's talking about it. Claiming something so outrageous keeps the flock from watching the film at all and debunking him. Yeah, right? Or it gets people really interested. Quality indeed. My volume is low on my end. Sorry, I'm possessed today. I can turn it up. I can get the boom mic in. Is that better? Oh, that's a little too loud. Is that better? And I can crank up the volume on the bottom as well. Pretty sure PETA would ensure nothing involves animals. If there's a place that doesn't happen, it would be LA. Yeah, fair.
Put up with it with the politicians for long enough, but the Hollywood has to be held accountable too.
Okay, Hollywood's got to be held accountable.
They're hurting the kids. They're hurting them.
The guy talking about being as part of the Catholic Church is talking about them hurting the kids. Sure, sir.
And they're opening these doors to horrible things that they should
Really? Opening these doors to horrible things? Okay.
never see.
Wow.
Very, very bad.
Wow.
We'll dive into that deeper in a little bit. Let's move.
They're eating the dogs. Yeah, exactly.
Let's move into Murfreesboro, your first one.
Now, I like this because he I guess they agreed to have a conversation about YouTube demon never liberated from victim. And he's just kind of like, yeah, we could talk about that later. Anyway, can you tell us more about this guy? And my screen froze. You guys, this doesn't happen. What happened? Is it demons? There we go. Okay, the demons are better. All right, that's fine.
Accountable too. Like, they're hurting the kids.
Okay, they're hurting the kids.
Hurting them.
Hurting them.
And they're opening these doors to horrible things that they should never see. Very, very bad.
We'll dive into that deeper in a little bit.
Did you see this, like, his hand gesture? I like it. It's like, you know what? It was almost, let's cut this off. It's technically more dangerous for kids to attend Catholic church than to go into the movie theater. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Let's move into Murfreesboro, your first one.
What do you say?
Okay.
Murphy's Room?
So, Mexican girl.
Mexican girl.
Probably early 30s.
Okay.
She actually did have a strong prayer life at one point.
Okay. So she's backslid like
we never
us.
could determine the actual reason. We think it was fear, that she had a fear that was so big that it was consuming her life.
I was going to make a joke about Catholics and fear, but instead, I mean, so what? This girl's got like generalized anxiety disorder?
And rather than her trust in God, she gave into this fear, and that we think could be the door that opened to these demons.
Okay, so number one, they don't know, right? Because there's no test for demons. There's no way to determine demons. You can't do a scan for demons and see where they came in. You know, this area is the most infected. They got in here first. But it sounds like she needed help. And it wasn't that she didn't turn to God. It was probably she did turn to God, and God was silent. What is it? God shuffled his feet, right? How do I change the subject quickly? Exactly. Good job for that guy, though.
So the pastor happened to be a very good priest, and he wanted to be present for the exorcism, so he was in the room with me.
Okay.
He had just ordered an enormous, 8-foot replica of Our Lady Guadalupe.
So one of the things that you got to talk about in history class is, about the Haitian Revolution when Haiti gains its independence, and it's very, it's very cool, inspirational. It started as a revolt among the people who were enslaved, and you have to mention voodoo, and I asked the students, how were they able to maintain this religion if they had to be Catholic, right? If they were Catholic Christians, is Christianity polytheist, atheist, monotheist, or pantheist? And they're like, well, it's monotheist, right? And then something like voodoo is polytheist. So how could they hide voodoo in a monotheistic religion? And the students are like, don't know. I said, hint. It's Catholic Christianity specifically. And we had learned about, the saints and stuff. And so one of them will always make this connection. Oh, it's because the saints. Okay, perfect. And I think this really just illustrates this so well. Like, here's this more iconography and stuff. These guys are more ritualistic and like idolaters than any Satanist would be. You know what I'm saying? Yes, exactly. Toussaint Louverture, exactly. 2-on-1 exorcism with a blow up Mary in the mix. Okay, yeah, exactly. We're not talking about that industry though, right?
Painting that was in this.
Oh, it's a painting.
It was kind of like a storage room, but we couldn't do it in the church because there were people in the church, and it would have. You don't do that. You know, first of all, you don't publicly put somebody through an exorcism.
I mean,
where
good.
It can be seen by bystanders,
Okay.
but also it'd be very could be frightening to the people who don't know that's happening. So
Okay.
we're in this private room.
Well, that's good. Who's that other guy? He's Protestant, I think evangelical specifically, and he does all those really public exorcisms.
It's my first time, so I hope I know what I'm doing, right?
Okay, that is not helping us with what Nick said. So we're here alone in this room, and it's my first time. I don't really know what I'm doing. I hope I do okay.
I go through the whole rite. I follow the protocols
Okay.
exactly.
Doing the thing.
She's on the floor, literally struggling. I mean,
Yeah,
she's sweating.
struggling.
She's
Bystanders
her body's
means
being
witnesses,
contorted.
right.
She's screaming. She's in pain. We're hearing guttural voices of
Okay.
men that are coming out of her. So I know.
Guttural voices of men that are coming out of her. Has he heard my Chick Track reacts? Maybe, you know, I was gonna, I always forget to do it. I have like like the devil voice.
It's like this. The way it works is you work your second vocal cords.
So is that gonna be me being a demon and I'm exorcised? Oh, Benny Hinn. Oh my God. I went to one of his things. Really made me early question my beliefs.
No, they're also uncomfortable.
Yeah, they're
So
uncomfortable.
it's in a way, it's working.
It's working because
Except-
she doesn't like it. Okay.
We get to the end of the rite where we start doing prayers at Thanksgiving, and I'm like, I look at the
Mm-hmm.
priest, I'm like, obviously she's not liberated.
What do you mean the rite?
So there's a rite of exorcism. It's an exact formulation of specific prayers in a specific
This is
order.
what always got to me. Like it's a formula, you know. And if you do it all, the demons leave. Why would a demon care about this? And that's what I didn't understand. Just, you know, growing up as a Pentecostal, because of this idea of that oh, you have to go through a bunch of words in Latin, and if you do them in the right order, the demon gets out. The idea is that God is so powerful that even just saying the name of Jesus will cause them to flee, you know? There's no time in the Gospels where Jesus pulled the rite of exorcism and started speaking Latin. You know what I'm saying? So this idea for us, just as non-Catholics, it always seemed very strange. It doesn't seem any less strange as an atheist. So she was a fan of heavy metal and death metal. That's fine. Exactly. Maybe she was just doing the growls, you know? Getting the gent in the back. That's it.
To deliver the person from the demon.
Okay.
It's not random.
Right. It's
In
not.
deliverance prayers, I can kind of, I don't want to say wing it, but, you know, I can just pray from the heart and say, Lord, you know, in the name of Jesus, I bind all spirits
Wait,
of
so-
anger and rage off this person.
So you. That's just a weird thing to add. Anyway, it's a very specific list of things you have to go through. It's a formula. But there's this one part you just kind of wing it. Like, not wing it, but wing it.
And I cast them
Yeah,
to
demon would
Jesus
say,
for him.
"Tee-hee, you said one Hail Mary too many." Right, exactly. There's like a limit. 3 is okay, but 4, oh, I can't stand it.
to deal with them. But in the rite,
Okay.
first of all, the rite has to be done by an exorcist only. It can't just be any priest.
Why not?
It has to be delegated by the bishop.
Why?
Uh,
Why,
there's-
like, why would a demon care about your personal religious hierarchy? It doesn't make any sense. What exactly is the spirit of rage? Adrenaline. In somebody like me, where it turns into fight instead of flight or freeze.
protocols to put into place for the protection of the person, like a
That's the spirit
physical
of rage.
exam beforehand to make
Oh, or tequila.
sure that they're healthy enough to undergo it. Also, a psychological battery that's about a day long.
I mean,
How do you give a health exam to somebody that's possessed?
it's such a good question. And he's asking it so sincerely, but it almost comes across as sarcastic. I love it.
Whose body's contorted.
Yeah,
Well,
her
like the-
body's contorted and everything. How you doing?
Went to
this?
the doctor.
Okay, the day before. you
I
sent
don't
me
do
to the
that. I'm not a doctor.
He's like, I don't know.
And the
I mean,
demon-
I appreciate that. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. That's fine. What's up? Very goth. Yeah, it was hopefully to offset some of the color, like washing out my face.
Isn't manifesting all the time. So
Okay.
some of them, I had a woman right now who she was working at a Nissan plant by day.
Nissan plant by day, what by night? What is he gonna say by night? Nissan plant by day, OnlyFans by night? Nissan plant by day, Satanic Temple by night? I don't know. Occult, no. Fortune teller by night. That's my guess. What do you guys think? Chris says, if troubleshooting computer bugs has taught me anything, it's taught me that following the steps in order won't be possible. That's true. But those are gremlins, not demons. So that's the difference. Also, latest fudge. Tonight's been a mess. Took a nap. Big mistake. No worries. No worries, Ratsa.
And then at night she would manifest at home when she's around her husband.
Doesn't that tell you something? So she's normal at a Nissan plant during the day, but at night she manifests at home near her husband. That sounds like she is either the perpetrator or possibly a reacting victim to domestic violence. Doesn't it seem that way? She's totally fine out in the day, but when she goes home around her husband, that's when she behaves erratically. Tarot card reader by night. Unfortunately, we see she's domestic disturbance by night. Whatever it is.
It backed off during the day. I guess they hadn't gotten to the point where they wanted to completely harass her. But
That
now
doesn't
she's in a
make any
psych ward
sense.
because they started acting up at work, and then the boss said, "What's wrong with you? I think you need psychological help." And they
Yeah.
recommended she go, and she checked into a psych ward.
Okay, good.
She's not going to get delivered in the psych ward.
Well, you don't need to be delivered in a psych ward. You need treatment. Not tonight, honey. Beelzebub's giving me a headache. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I said to the pastor, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Because she's obviously exhausted. It's been over an hour of this torture.
Right.
And
That's a way to
I said,
phrase it.
we can stop or I can keep going. And he goes, I don't want to have to go through this again. And I don't think she does either. Let's just keep going and get it
Okay.
over with. Now, both of us were kind of naive, thinking that we can determine when this is going to end. So I
Okay.
start praying and praying and praying again. And then all of a sudden I have this thought, the painting is right behind her, this enormous Guadalupe.
Right.
And I say to her, I go, look to your mother and ask for her help. And she turns her head and she looks at the painting and she in Spanish, she screams out, please, mother, help me. Set me free from this thing. And then she went into massive convulsions
Okay.
where it was a little frightening. We didn't know what was happening to her.
So again, if all of this is real, God is real, she's really infested by demons and all this other stuff, how come you have to beg? Obviously, you don't want to be infested by demons. You're going through an exorcism because you have already announced, I don't want to go through this. I need help. Please get these demons out of me. And after an hour of what he characterized as torture, she still has to beg an intercessor prayer, a prayer of intercession on her from the Virgin Mary by looking at the painting of it and saying it out loud. Doesn't sound like anything spiritual. It sounds like something psychological, doesn't it? How can they take themselves seriously? Only a serpent can swallow his own tail. I like the spelling of tail there. I don't know how much it matters to everyone, but I started reading The Sparrow by Mary Doria Russell. Sci-fi, but at least to start, there's a lot of religious stuff. Oh, interesting. Why does the father look like Steven Seagal from Wish? He kind of does, doesn't he? That's true.
Is she dying? And then she's...
Like, what do you mean? What did it look like?
Yeah, tell
like
us.
a massive
Like
seizure?
a flash. Yeah, her whole body's flailing and screaming. And
So he's asking himself, what's going on? Is she dying? And they're just standing there, just looking.
it's obvious it's not her because it's coming off the floor. It's like... And both of us are like a little freaked out, the
Yeah.
other priest and I, and then all of a
Okay.
sudden it ends and she just lies there.
And,
I'm
check
like,
her pulse?
at first I'm like
Check her pulse?
thinking, is she breathing? And then I could see her chest moving. I'm like, okay, she's alive.
Okay, check her pulse.
And then she opened her eyes and she was back. And she's completely set free.
Okay.
And like I look at the priest and I'm like, holy cow, like had we known, we could have like opened with that, like look to your mother and ask for her help. Like, but what do we know? I mean, I didn't.
I don't know if I'm more confused, angry. I think both, but I don't know which percentage of either. So I think exorcisms have a purpose if you're religious. I don't think they have the purpose that they think they do, but I think they have a purpose socially. That if the person is especially having a behavior issue, an addiction issue, something they want to fix, this can serve as a accountability event. And the next time they feel like, oh, I want to do this behavior, they can say, no, I have this power on my side, this kind of thing. And I think this kind of works. It's sort of like an accountability. Now, the person still has to go through all the steps that they normally would to become, a better version of themselves. But I don't think this works for anything like a mental illness or physical illness. But I think there is a ritual purpose. The other thing is that it also gives the person kind of an out, that it wasn't me doing these bad things, it was the demon making me do these bad things. And now that I've publicly atoned for this, or at least in front of, 2 other people, I've atoned for this, now we can all see me as a new good person. Where something like, if you had caused people a bunch of wrongs, you would have to actually go to those people, tell them that you're working on improving, and apologize to them individually, right? So I think there's a social benefit, and it can work in terms of psychology, but only for a very small, like a specific set of issues. But I don't think it works the way they think it does. I don't know what's going on with this lady. These issues are happening at home with her husband, but he didn't say what they were. He didn't say that she becomes whatever, violent, self-harm, substance abuse. He didn't say anything, just that it shows up around her husband. That doesn't sound demonic. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, why wouldn't they just call 911 if someone's having convulsions? Exactly.
Didn't know anything.
He said, well, that's
But
his
that's how
answer.
it
He didn't know
happened. It
anything.
wasn't through the rite of exorcism. It was from her petitioning Our Lady.
Okay.
What is her response?
Who's the girl?
When it's gone?
What do you mean, whose? What he thinks that he's asking about? So what did our Holy Mother say?
Oh, she was thrilled. She was so happy.
Michael says it's possible that the whole story is just made. Oh, 100%, right? That's also a possibility.
I mean, is it immediately like?
Yeah, she knows. She's free.
Do they know they're possessed?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, that's
Is
why
it
they
emotion-
agree to a exorcism, brother.
Emotional? Is it an emotional experience at the end?
Yes, because she was so grateful she was set free. I mean, she's crying, but she's happy. She's smiling. She's covered in sweat, head to toe. I mean, just
Sure.
the most grueling session you can imagine. It was when they're tormenting the victim physically, and they're contorting their body, and they're twisting body parts around.
Oh, I'm
It's
twisting my
painful.
body. Uh-oh.
It's
I'm
painful to
getting
watch, too.
exercised.
Is it
By
emotional
proxy.
for you when it's over?
When it's over, no, I'm kind of relieved. But when it's happening, there's a fine line where I can start getting so angry at the demon that it actually will work against the exorcism, because now I'm channeling like unhealthy anger, which isn't good.
As
So I
opposed
have
to
to
righteous
really
anger.
Remain in check. Like, I can't get violently angry at this thing and start screaming at it, because then I'm working in his camp.
Where does the demon go?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Notice he can't maintain eye contact. That's true, but he might have kind of an issue. He does seem to be looking more to the side, but I might be misremembering, because we've seen some videos with this guy in the other cult meeting live streams.
Oh, I mean, when we actually are casting things out, we send them to the feet of Jesus for him to do what he wants with.
Send him to the
Right.
feet of Jesus.
I mean,
Why not cast him into a pile of pigs? I don't put too much weight on the eye contact. Myself, I'm really bad at it. Yeah, it's so for body language, the reason the cops ask you a bunch of just regular questions to start with at an interrogation is to sort of just get a baseline of your body language. If you're the type of person that does talk with your hands a lot, you do kind of move around a lot, or if you're the type of person that sits very still and maintains eye contact, what they're looking for is a change in that behavior. It doesn't indicate that you're lying. It just indicates that something is not typical for you. So if you find that when you're asking about, okay, so how, can you go through the events of yesterday? And let's say that you guys are seeing my body language. I'm moving my hands a lot, and, I can maintain mostly eye contact, but when I'm thinking, I will move my eyes to the side, right? So that's my standard. So if I say, yeah, I'll tell you what happened yesterday. So yesterday, I get up, I get ready, I go to work. It was a pretty normal day, nothing out of the ordinary. And, I go home and that's pretty much my day. That's what I remember happening anyway, nothing, nothing out of the ordinary as far as any, nothing out of the ordinary. It doesn't mean I'm lying about whatever happened after work when I was getting home, but it does make the police think something is not being told fully truthfully, because all of a sudden my demeanor changed. I held my arms down. I made really hard eye contact. So, yeah. Okay, welcome back. I thought you got lost in the Smoky Mountains. That would have been bad. The whole job requires you to tell lies convincingly. That's true. But I'm going to bring her up again. Amber Lynn Reed. Her whole thing is just lying. And the running joke is that you think that she would be better at lying because that's all she does. But she's such a bad liar. Terrible at eye contact. The more I focus on it, the worse it gets. There's a chance I'm going to say that a lot of you guys probably have ADHD or autism. Just possibly. That's all. No, I'm just kidding. No, in reality, that is one of the things that will make you avoid eye contact. Or that it's not as necessary. I do tend to avoid eye contact, but there's another reason I do it as well. The other reason is because I just did in general. I don't know about any diagnosis, but I just did in general. I will turn my ear to somebody, especially if it's a loud area, so I can hear them. And I was with my coworkers, and they were all, how am I gonna look? They were all in a line here, and I looked this way because I was talking to the person right here. So I turned my ear to them and I asked a question, but all of my coworkers turned their heads to see who I was looking at, which was nobody. And I said, they're like, who are you talking to? I said, oh, sorry, I'm talking to you. It's just so I can hear you better. So that, I don't know, that, when other people, yeah, that's a little, it can be kind of embarrassing, I guess, because, it's new. You're getting older, and, yeah, it's exciting. I also always watch a person's mouth. I don't know. I like to look away from people. It helps me focus on them. I get to, if I look at them too much, it makes me think, what are they thinking? And I think about what they could be thinking and not about what they're saying. So I tend to look away, or I'll look at them and look away and look at them and look away. So they know I'm paying attention with that eye contact. I know it's important for most people, but I would prefer to just turn my ear to them and just stare at the wall or stare at the ceiling. That, to me, is easier to focus.
Maybe the last place they want to go is back to hell. Because they will be horribly...
yeah, what's the lie?
I want to say tortured, but tortured by the devil because they failed their mission.
So they would rather be at the feet of Jesus, who's going to mutilate them, than back home because they failed their mission. This almost gives me the... It's like a... it's like something from the Power Rangers or something, you know, where you send your henchmen to go do a thing, and then they fail, and they come back, and then like Rita Repulsa starts hitting them, like, oh, you failed, you know, and it's just like, oh no, gosh, dang it, and like, oh, I can't trust anyone, you know, or like Inspector Gadget, you know, when the Claw would send them out, and then he'd get all mad, and they're like, oh, boss, I'm so sorry. That's what this sounds like. This doesn't sound like real stuff. You know, it's comical, it's cartoonish. The other demons will be so mean to them. Exactly, Chris. I close my eyes reflexively to focus, especially if there's other sounds going on. I embrace my undiagnosed tiz. Exactly. You know, there's no problem with it. It's just, now you know that's why you engage in some behaviors. Right, it's like the plot of an 80s cartoon. Exactly. You dastardly demons, you know? Yeah, what question do you got?
Is hell an actual place, or is hell
He's
a
asking good
realm
questions.
that surrounds us?
Is hell an actual place or what? Sorry.
Or is hell a realm that surrounds us?
A realm that surrounds us. Oh.
Well, the world's looking more like hell, but I think hell is a place.
Okay, the world's looking like hell, but it is a place.
But again, you know, right now it's souls that would be in hell. It's not physical bodies.
Okay, it's souls.
But they experience, the spirit
No, it
can
wouldn't.
experience more.
No, it wouldn't, because Judgment Day hasn't happened. There wouldn't be any souls in hell. They're in the waiting room. That's what we know, right? We know that. They're in the waiting room. That's why Catholics used to write rest in peace, because they thought the soul is just resting until Judgment Day. And we know that because we read it in the Book of Enoch, and we should take the Book of Enoch seriously, even though it's not in the Bible, because Jesus referenced the Book of Enoch. So.
Pain than the flesh. This is something a lot of people don't understand. So their torment is worse than what we would experience in this life. And so too, on the flip side, heaven is so much better than this life that people can't imagine.
Again, Book of Enoch, no, it's not. It's just you standing around Yahweh, Yahweh sitting on his throne, and you are just giving him praise, saying, you're amazing, you're so awesome, you're like, wow, oh my God, oh, you're so good. And then that's all you do for all eternity. The I am anew, it says, I'm convinced it's for kids, since it seems to be for people who aren't sure where babies come from. That's true. He's clearing his throat and sniffing, just making it up based on the idea of hell. Yeah, right. Could be. Right, because he didn't, again, these are not behaviors he engaged in before.
So when people die and come back, they often don't want to come back. But the Lord's like, no, you got to go back. Because it's just so amazing. I've had people tell me, like, there's smells we haven't smelled here, good smells. There's colors.
I mean, I hope good smells. What do you mean?
We haven't seen yet.
Colors we haven't seen. So you become a mantis shrimp when you die.
Flowers that seem to have their own like vitality and life, that they move, and it's all in the glory of God.
Is this what Catholics think of heaven? Because my grandmother, she was medically dead a few times, and she mentioned that. She mentioned it was a very nature kind of place, that there were that she could walk. There were trees, and she mentioned trees specifically. Why would flowers exist in heaven, and why would they be like bouncing around like it's like a Disney movie? Do you know what I mean?
The best
Sniff, who
description
died
was
in here? Everybody.
A person said to me, "Heaven is real life."
Okay.
The way that a real person is versus the person's shadow. So if you see someone's shadow on the sidewalk, that's this life. One-dimensional gray, that's life on earth. And then the whole vitality of a human being would be the comparison to heaven versus the shadow.
Okay, but again, why would heaven just be new earth? That's what it sounds. It sounds like new earth, doesn't it? That's ridiculous. And then that's it. And then that's it. What about demon never liberated from victim? You liberated the demon. But wait. YouTube demon never liberated from victim. We didn't even hear about this YouTube demon. We just... Is it just me? Is it just... I'm gonna ask. So based on the title, I thought we'd hear about a YouTube demon that wasn't liberated from a person. Instead, we have a story. I don't want to make it sound like I'm insulting them, because that's not what I'm insulting them about. We said we have an account, of what? Of a woman who had demons, demonic possession from an unknown source. Best guess, fear. And she was successfully exorcised by a painting. I'm not sure what to make of all this or why it's so meandering. I mean, mine's meandering because it's a live stream. But even still. Okay, let's see what we can see in the comments, though. Okay. I'm so glad he said Hollywood is harming our children. I'm a teacher, and I see it all the time how movies, TV, music, video games, social media are all scandalizing children. I'm a teacher. I don't see others scandalizing children. I just see I don't see it. It's as bad as it was for our generation. You know, being, oh yeah, the TV's making you stupid, you know, that kind of stuff. No witchcraft formed against me shall prosper. In Jesus' name, amen. I'm 53. The world is evil in a way I have never known. Red-pilled in Colorado. That's this person's name. I cried to the Lord in my darkest hour, and he rescued me. I learned so much from Father Rehill. He's such a blessing to us all. I could listen to him speaking all day. He's so knowledgeable. My daughter and I played a meditation video that's been recommended from YouTube last year called Return All Black Magic to Sender. As soon as it started playing, a damn demon manifested. My daughter and I felt really uncomfortable, and then we noticed our dog's reaction to something in the corner of the room. His ears laid back, and he started snarling. We turned that off so fast, and I rebuked it in the name of Jesus. My dog whined and hit his face on my daughter's lap, and it was done. Hallelujah, heart emoji, hands raised emoji. Thank you, Lord Jesus. It is so important to be careful of what we're listening to and watching. Be safe, friends. White heart emoji, 100 emoji. Let's see. How great is our God? He allowed you to recognize and discern the evil in the video. Well done rebuking it immediately. Dogs are also uniquely gifted and they sense evil as well. Again, citation needed. Why were you watching a video about returning black magic? That's a good question. That's a good question. I rebuke you, demons, in the mighty name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Massive respect for exorcists. This world makes me sick. It's beyond evil. Thank goodness through Jesus we have hope. Demon, what you want? About tree fitting. I was just making that joke on Friday. Uh-oh. Third eye confirmed. Damn it. Be careful what you... You know what? Let me say that. Okay. So... as a joke, I watched a third eye opening video when the pastor talked about it, and then something I said minutes prior was found in the comments section of that same YouTube video. What does this mean? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Let's see what they say. Hopefully we'll get an answer. Sometimes we do. I got one from the young elder. For those of you guys that aren't part of the cult, you guys probably won't know, but it's a very weird cult that we've been looking at for the past few sessions. And one of the guys is still making videos. The actual leader is in prison, and I think he's gonna be in prison for life. I think it's something excessive. It's like 130 years or something. So I did comment on one of his videos, and he responded sometimes. So, you know, there are ways that, you know, it can be kind of interesting to see what they say. Why do you think their YouTube comments have any power over demons? Do demons watch YouTube? They believe that anything that opens your mind to the occult makes you susceptible to nearby demons that are of the occult. So if I play Dungeons and Dragons, if I read Harry Potter, if it's something like that, now I'm opening my mind to the occult, or I'm opening my soul, my heart to the occult, and any nearby occult demons will get in there. It's the same if I indulge anger. I'm opening myself to any demons of anger that might be nearby, and then they come inside and manifest. It's sort of like if you get a cut and then you don't wash it and you don't treat it, it opens it up to like any nearby bacteria. It's like that. If there's not any bacteria that, if your immune system's good, you'll be fine. If it's not that big of a cut, it's fine. If there's not like MRSA hanging out, you're not going to get MRSA, So if you're opening yourself to the demons of the occult, but there's no occult demon next to you, you're not going to get possessed by the demon of occult. That's basically how I see it. It's Ouija. Yes. Do you think we can make a Ouija board from a Bible and a Quran? I feel like that would be an interesting thing to do. What's my favorite video game or movie based on demons and stuff like that? Movie based on demons is The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I really like that movie. I'll watch that movie a lot. And also Constantine. I really like it. It's kind of cheesy, but I enjoy it. But yeah, The Exorcism of Emily Rose I think is really interesting because that thing where they have that person, that scene where they have that person on the stand talking about why the ritual of exorcism is necessary for some people. I agree with that. Although she talks about being like spiritually sensitive, I disagree with that. I think exorcism as a ritual is really interesting. I think the whole story is very interesting. It's upsetting that she died, and it's upsetting that they let the priest go, and the parents weren't punished. But I don't know if that's the real story. But as the movie goes, I don't like that. I think that the family should have been prosecuted and all of that stuff. But yeah, so I like that movie though. I think it's very interesting. I know that Christian me would have been very creeped out by that movie. And for games, there's not a whole lot that's based off of like anything biblical that I can think of other than Bible Adventures from the NES. But yeah, Diablo, been a fan for years. So that. Yeah, Constantine, definitely. It's a good time. These entities want to hurt you. Other intelligent life, Exorcist gives clear answer. Okay, so we'll wait for that. So we've got this ex-witch exposes the danger of speaking like this. The power of silence from Erica Mukisa. 1.5 million views. Ex-witch Erica Mukisa reveals the shocking tactics she once employed to trap souls and keep them stagnant in life through quarrels and discord. Obviously not the app. Or maybe it is. If you never understood the profound power of silence and how cultivating a calm spirit can shield you from evil, this is your moment of awakening. Exactly. Bible Adventures hype. It's in my little shrine. I got it. Many wonder why we share testimonies like them. We're ex-Satanists. The intention is not to glorify the kingdom of darkness, illuminate the spiritual realities. I don't know if you even want to watch it. Compared to just reading the comments. I repent from my idle words. I cancel every word that I have cursed myself with. I repent from any ties that I've made with my tongue. I repent in the name of Jesus Christ. May the Lord set me free. I repent from screaming, yelling, and disrespecting my husband with words whenever I'm angry. Holy Spirit, teach me to have calm, meek, and humble spirit. Amen. Well, yeah, don't be a jerk to people you say you love. I repent and cancel any and every curse that I've made through my tongue. I cut off any connection to the demonic through any bad use of my mouth in the name of Jesus. So if we're doing the demons are like an infection, this is you cleaning out the wound and applying dressing and taking antibiotics. That's basically it. I repent from pants, says Phantom. Nice. Amen. Yeah, you have to amen. Otherwise it doesn't work. You gotta close out the communication. Over. I renounce every evil word that I've spoken against my children, my husband, myself, and other people in Jesus' name. Yeah, you sound like a jerk, Becky. Like, you just sound like a jerk. Wow, I renounce every evil word I've spoken against my children? Becky. Anger management. That's the thing. I know I got anger issues. I don't take them out on my students, my coworkers, or anybody in my life. You know what I'm saying? That's me. I have anger issues towards my mom. On Friday, I was listening to a podcast. The Holy Spirit spoke to me to release her and forgive her. I cried bitterly as she affected me a lot emotionally, and I felt as soon as I took a step forward into forgetting about what she had done and how that made me feel. I go back to square one. Also, she has a way of showing me how she doesn't love me, and sometimes it's obvious. Well, yeah, I see why you would have anger issues. Thank God I decided to change how I view her and started serving her as if she has changed. I drove her to church and fetched her Sunday after church. My heart was speaking as I am still subjected to a form of abuse, but I'm ready to view her differently, not judge her. Oh, no. No, you don't. Just, like, let go of the anger. It's not your fault. You didn't deserve it. And then that's it. May Jesus forgive me for being rebellious and for being angry, bitter, resentful towards my mother. No, it sounds like you should be angry towards your mom. No. I mean, let it go. Move forward. Don't hold on to this, but, like, cut her out of your life until she actually changes. Oh, man. Wouldn't it be more helpful to apologize to those they hurt instead of Jesus? It would. And that's one thing that I was mentioning to somebody, I think it was yesterday, that they thought, they said to me that I'm going to hell. And it was on a video, it was a police body cam video about this woman who was abusing her children in like very severe ways, like starving them for days and stuff like that. Spraying them with pepper spray, just awful. She was a foster parent and had several children. They were all around the age of 10-ish, and she was just causing them all this awful torture. And so the person mentioned about, thank God that she's getting her just desserts in hell or something. I said, thank God. No, thank the kids who spoke out for being brave. Thank the police who took it seriously and helped them. Thank the Department of Child Services for recognizing, taking them out, putting them and rehoming them and like actually giving them help. Thank those people, And they said that, well, you have as much of a chance. It sounds like you have the same chance of going to hell as she does. And I said, that's your theology, isn't it? That because I don't believe, I'm equivalent to someone who actually causes harm. And I said, the problem is that you would be okay with her being next to you in heaven as long as she repented to Jesus. Not that she made anything right among the kids that she harmed, but as long as she just said to Jesus, because that's what it's really about. It's about your relationship with God, not anything else. And that's really sad, Sometimes you shouldn't forgive people, man. That's you in an abusive situation, yeah. I think I'm gonna have to say it, It sounds like you don't need to be around this person until they actually improve. You shouldn't put yourself in harmful situations and call that a blessing. She should ask your forgiveness, not you being subservient to someone causing you emotional and possibly physical harm. Hopefully that doesn't sound obvious enough that I'm not Christian, because if it does, then she's just gonna drop it. Okay, where's the most viewed? We'll go here. All right.
Man is created in the image and likeness of God. Here, image doesn't imply that we resemble God.
AI voice. Okay. Doesn't imply that we resemble God physically. Rather, it signifies we're formed after his pattern, or his template, if you will. Okay, so then what? And the likeness implies that we operate or function like God in the same way. What he eats and poos. When you utter words, it's not just casual sound waves coming from your vocal cords. Oh, okay. That we're speaking things into existence, manifesting, whatever. Nice tilt on the earth, though. They're ignorant, making you an easy target for those who understand it. Okay.
Let's get back to Erica's clip and listen in on how she used this spiritual technology to harm ignorant people who knew nothing about it.
Okay.
Like, you keep them stagnant, doing the same thing, but no progress. But they are working so hard. But the more they work hard, the more they go back to square one. So she taught me how to do that. And how to do that is by capturing a person's spirit. And how do I capture a person's spirit is by involving in a quarrel or a fight with that person.
So something like this would be where, using an evil eye ward would probably come into play. So there's cultures that they have this belief that other people are the ones who can actually cause these issues. A lot of Western cultures, religion stuff, it's more of like me opening myself to demons as opposed to somebody else being able to trip me up. There may be somebody working on behalf of the devil, but for a human to individually decide to take it upon themselves to do bad things to me and cause harm to my spirit, that's not something typically we find in Western cultures. In my own culture, we had, there's like hot tongue, and so that's where you can say something and it causes that person to have something bad. So you can basically curse somebody verbally. Something like that, you need, number one, the thought that it can happen. So this idea that, it's like with the idea of manifesting, it's if you believe that you can manifest things and you attempt to manifest, you write it down, you speak it, something like that, subconsciously you're going to work towards it anyway, or maybe just overtly you're going to work towards it because you feel like it's doable to you because you're manifesting it, right? So it feels more accessible because you already believe it's accessible, that kind of thing. The other part is it has to do with psychology, right? We know that you can emotionally and mentally abuse somebody. We know that. And so there are things that you can say that will cause such turmoil to a person. You just have to know what to say to them, so you have to know who they are and what to say. But they can cause these words to kind of echo in their head. And that's kind of what I think is probably happening here. I mean, witchcraft is just, it's knowing stuff about stuff that most people don't know. That's all it really is. It's just being a nerd. Whether it's a nature nerd, a psychology nerd, that's all it really is. But to say that you actually had the power and that you're holding souls and all this stuff, no. What's up, Kragerov? Got any dressing for that word, Sal? Yeah, exactly. Right.
And when I would involve myself in a fight or quarrel with that person, I tell that person, you will see. And when that person, when I tell them, you will see, they say, see what? Who do you think you are? And me, the only response is, you will see. So that night, because they have opened their lives to that attack by quarreling,
that's happening.
When a person is at that point of life, they're at zero level. They are vulnerable in the spiritual realm. So I would target at night. They are just thinking about me, meditating about the bad things I have done, the bad words I have spoken, how I am the one who invoked the fight, you know. So that night they have a bad dream.
Sure.
In that dream, if they don't wake up to pray and cancel it, that is the end of them. Because whatever they are going to do, they are going to be struggling.
You know what? I'm going to agree with that. Even with the praying to cancel, because again, that serves as a ritual of, I am rejecting this thing, that, you know, I want this out of my head. You're not letting it get to you, that kind of thing. You're actively saying, I'm not letting this get to me. It's like if somebody tells you an insult and you say, you know what, that's not me. I'm not gonna internalize this. So the problem though is that they're attributing it to some magic, and because they attribute it to magic, the only solution is magic, is different magic, right? And that's where the problem kind of comes in. It's just psychology, just being really good at it and using it for negative purposes.
Because me, I would go to that shrine, I call their spirit, and I cage it in that web. So that is an evil forest, a forest of herbs. Yes. So I would cage.
Herbs are evil too.
There are people who have been caged in trees. There are people who have been caged in places.
Okay.
So a person does whatever they are doing. They work so hard. They are struggling to make it in life, but nothing they do materializes. Even if they are given money in the morning, by evening they don't have the money and they have nothing to show for that money.
Okay.
So these are things that are cultivated and programmed in the spirit.
See, the problem comes in when they agree or but really believe that this person does have my spirit. This causes, there's this thing called external versus internal locus of control. And if I have an internal locus of control, it means that I believe there are things that I can do to improve my situation. If I have an external locus of control, this kind of belief, then I believe that the things that are bad in my life are bad because of something out of my control. And people who have that external locus of control, they kind of have a tendency to believe more like in fate, that things are happening to me, as opposed to these are maybe natural consequences of my actions or my thoughts or my behaviors, right? So if this person has that, which is what a lot of religion is, we're saying this is happening because of God's will, it has nothing to do with me. This is happening because of the devil or demons, it doesn't have anything to do with me. This is happening because some witch did this thing, and now there's nothing I can do to undo that. And this is where it does become a very difficult, psychological problem. Herbs are evil, but I like my Italian seasoning. Sorry. Evil. Okay? What happened to the Roman Empire? It collapsed. It could never get restarted. Why? Italian seasoning.
Yes.
Through manipulating herbs.
Yes, through herbs.
Okay, how?
My goodness.
Which herbs collect souls? Which ones would do that? I mean, I have, like, extracts and stuff that I make for my migraines. Are there any others that we can do? Can I get one that sucks your soul out of your body? Because that's pretty metal. Soul spice. There it is.
Yes. Isn't that shocking?
It is shocking.
This could happen to
people believe
anyone,
it.
which is why we must keep our eyes wide open. It's no surprise
third eye. Okay. No surprise
that Jesus taught us to turn the other cheek, love our enemies, and pray for those who persecute us.
Okay. Well, congratulations. The young elder. Let's see if we got this other guy. Or these are transcripts of the videotapes that are 2 attempts at covering the same material. They're very similar in content, although they each have a unique quality and some minor differences. Hello, John. I had a girlfriend that thought she caused the Candlestick Park earthquake in San Francisco. John, can you please elaborate? That sounds very interesting. Joining a book club that has more than one book could be helpful. Rome fell when it became a theocracy. No, it fell because of spices. Spice trade? Obvious. Finkelstein says that's why Turks were able to overrun the Roman Empire. Their spices were strong. Exactly. See, the spice trade. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So, last chance to evacuate Earth before it's recycled. They also have a German translation. That's cool. I need to get the... Oh, jeez, my eyes. Oh, this is a TLDR, isn't it? I mean, this is one of those things like I should read on my own. We'll read the first paragraph, and we'll just see if it's anything you guys want to hear more. This is the 29th of September, 1996. I'm Doe. Doe probably doesn't mean anything to many of you. To those who have heard Doe, I might translate Doe to T and Doe of the UFO 2, or of what the media dubbed the UFO cult, that made some splash in the news in 1975 and disappeared from the scene shortly after that. And some of you might have heard of the efforts that we have made to try to share a little bit of what we have learned in the public periodically between 1975 and now. We put out a statement called the 88 Update, and we did a videotape series a little while after that. I think it was 1992, 1991, 1992, called Beyond Human. Now, today, we have quite a different urgency. It's urgent to me, and it's urgent to the students that sit before me. Our reason for speaking to you is because we feel we need to warn you what is just around the corner. Well, we have to go in the second paragraph. I'll just put this as briefly as I can, and as clearly as I can. This planet is about to be recycled, refurbished, and started over. That doesn't mean it's going to be destroyed, it doesn't mean that it's the end of the world, but it does mean that we're going to be spaded under. Now, you can say, well, who are you to say that? And I'll tell you who I am. As to whether or not you believe who I am is up to you, and whether or not you believe this civilization is going to be recycled or refurbished is up to you. Now, the purpose of this tape is to warn you that this is about to happen, and it's going to happen very soon. Okay, this is good. This is good reading. This is good reading. Nick says that they've heard of these weirdos. Yeah, no, I included them in a paper I wrote for my degree. I watched a lot of their exit interviews, and it's you don't feel bad for them, and I say that because they were really sure. This wasn't Jonestown. This wasn't people that wanted out and they ended up getting killed. these were people that really believed, and they sought death eagerly. So you don't feel sorry in that sense, like, oh, you know, it was tragic. You feel bad in the sense that they were brainwashed and that this was the ultimate outcome and this must be really hard for their families. You feel bad in that sense. But to see them and to see how excited they were, it gives you, I guess, some sense of, at least they had that. You know, at least it was in Jonestown. You know, at least they were okay with what they were about to do. Not okay, but excited, you know. That's a very 20th century website. Oh, I know. It's still maintained. And I'm going to see if I can get this sent to me, because so you can actually there's a book that they haven't published. And I want to read it, and they'll send it to you for free, but the problem is that it's a $70 shipping fee to Korea. So I'm going to see if I can get somebody else to ship it to me for cheaper. But yeah, it's just one of those things you want to do it, and then it just keeps slipping your mind, you know. She had visited San Francisco and had a horrible time, and the day the earthquake happened when she was flying home. Interesting. That's all it took. Interesting. Earth being demolished for a hyperspace bypass. That's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So this was not that it's being demolished. It's just refurbished. Of course, it was tragic, but my problem is always that these people believe they're the chosen ones and that everyone else deserved worse than them. I'm going to see what they felt specifically about that, because they believed that they were an away team. They were basically from another planet. So I don't think they didn't want us to be harmed, but like warned and notified that this was going to happen. They really believed that they were part of this away team that was temporarily inhabiting human bodies. So this, I think, would almost be like if people, like, they recognize there's humans on the planet, but they believe that they're inhabited by angels, and so they're not really human. So it's not that they believe that we deserve anything bad, it's that they believe that they have to go and do more work to help out our planet Earth because they feel bad for us. So their idea was like they had to connect with more people and like awaken those who were part of the away team, and they had to figure out who those people were, because how would you find them, right? So they were trying to gather the away team to go get on to the spaceship. I feel bad that people are malleable enough to do something like that, and don't think you're not, because it's when we think we're not. A lot of these people are the same people that say, I would never fall for a cult. You know, I'm smarter than that. Those are the people that they target. You know, people who want to make change, who are unsatisfied with life, people who are critical of the world around us. You know, and that's all of us here. You know, we want to make a change, we want to do things, and we're critical of the way things go. And we are the type of people that the cults would target, you know. Hello, Kelly. If you haven't seen The Endless, it's a really great movie. Starts with a T and Doe type thing. People recorded goodbyes that were modeled off those. Oh, okay. I'll definitely check that out. If I would title the tape, The Last Chance to Evacuate Planet Earth Before It's Recycled, Last Chance to Evacuate Earth Before It's Recycled. If you've read any of our teaching, the information that we have, you know that our discipline is strict. We teach overcoming human ways, overcoming human addictions. The purpose of that is not for religious reasons or for morality or in order to become righteous. The purpose is to go to the heavens. Humans have some idea, because of what the negative forces have let them believe or have led them to believe. Humans have the idea that through religion, if I live a good life, then I get to go to heaven when I die. And they don't know what heaven is, but they think that heaven is where God is, and heaven is whoever the leader of their religion is, and they'll get to go be with them if they've lived a good life by whatever their religion teaches. The fact is, there is only one kingdom level, just like there's a human kingdom. There's only one kingdom level above the human kingdom, and that kingdom level made the human kingdom, designed the planet, designed all its resources, designed all its life forms, designed humans, and even designed humans with the potential of leaving the human kingdom in order to go to the kingdom level above human. Now, the startling thing to many is that the kingdom level above human is physical. There's some idea that the kingdom level above human, we'll just call it the kingdom, okay, or the above kingdom, is spiritual as if it's limited to being spiritual. It is spiritual in the sense that if you think of a mind as synonymous with spirit, and you become something that identifies with your mind instead of the suit of clothes you wear, then it's spiritual, because the mind and spirit become your identity. Even if in the human world, if humans identify with the mind that they have or the spirit that they have, remember those are synonymous, if they identify with that mind, then they don't think that they die when the body they are wearing drops. They think that they would move into another world. When they move out of the body, whether they do in fact move to another world depends on whether they're connected or not, or what their information is, or what they're capable of knowing or doing, and what they've been willing to learn. Now, this is sounding more run-of-the-mill cult stuff, not as exciting as the first paragraphs, I will say, but it's really good. And what I mean is it's good in the sense that it's saying stuff that a lot of people would agree with already, even if they're not super religious. And we can consider the mind, even as atheists, if we because some atheists do have a belief in spirits, but if you don't, you can still understand what's being said. And that spiritual is sort of a placeholder for some anomalous entity that is more than just my physical self, right? Because a lot of times we do like to consider our mind as a separate thing from our brain. And I think if you're there, that's why they say mind/spirit becomes your identity. So you don't even have to necessarily believe in spirits to believe this stuff. It also talks about heaven. It's kind of Christian adjacent in a sense, where we're talking about going somewhere, we're talking about being with God, we're talking about the people in the heavens creating earth. They're creators, just like God's a creator. So it's familiar enough to you that you would not be surprised. It's not like Lord Xenu and the aliens, what are they called? Those aliens that inhabit our body, Thetans, okay? So it's not like that. It's not that bizarre. And that's what makes it really sneaky. Anyone can be programmed into a cult. We have to actively work to be part of good groups and fight against them turning into a cult. Heavens, yeah, like space. I wonder how they know so much details about it. So they believe that they are from that realm and that they're part of the away team to come to Earth to prepare it for what their, I guess you could say their race in the above kingdom, what they're going to be doing with Earth. So to them, they believe they have tapped into that dormant knowledge from their past existence in the above kingdom. In neuroscience, spiritual experience are referred to as mystical experience. Yeah, and that's something that I'm glad you brought up, because it is something that we can do brain scans on. It does activate different parts of the brain. I believe in spirits, especially single malts. Very good. Good time. Can't hear Krampus in the back. Let me fix it. Yeah, don't get him, because he was scratching at the door. I'm glad you didn't hear it. So this is something more that I don't know if you guys, do you guys want me to read it? I mean, I'm okay reading it, but I don't know if you'd rather watch a video or hear more about this. Klingons on Earth undercover, scratches their head. Yeah, I mean, look at the forehead wrinkles. That's it. That's it. So I'm okay reading it, or we can do more with like exorcism and demons, and I'm probably thinking to get up around, I don't know, 9:30. It's 9:14 right now, or 10, just because I can't be sitting too long. Explains the gray hairs. Absolutely. See, figured it out. Figured it out. But yeah, just sitting too much is it's causing me some physical pain. So I want to be in that next evolutionary progression, evolutionary level above human. The next level, or evolutionary level above human. Oops, I said a bad word, evolutionary level. because religious people think, oh, evolution, does that mean you don't believe in creation? That's the most ridiculous thing someone could think, that evolution is not part of creation. That kingdom level created everything, that is, made everything. And among those things it made a number of things that advance in evolutionary progression. So to speak of the level above human, we shouldn't be afraid to use the word evolutionary level above. It's not really an evolutionary level above human, and that creatures can on their own advance to the kingdom level, because they can't. That sounds strange. They can advance, but they can't do it on their own. That's also something similar with like UFO cults. The same evolutionary level that created the human kingdom has to physically incarnate into the human kingdom to offer life to them, to offer information to them, while incarnate in a human body. If a recipient is thirsty enough for that mind, the recipient recognizes that it has literally connected with a source from the next level, who is their physical presence. So they basically believe that they are here to just like help us out and be teachers to us humans. They wear physical bodies. Do you look at the heavens at night? Why do you see physical bodies in the heavens? If it was a spiritual heaven, you wouldn't see any of those bodies. They would all be etheric, but you see those heavenly bodies. You only see a tiny, tiny fraction of those physical bodies in the kingdom of heaven. There are also many physical heavenly bodies that cannot be seen by the human eye. So they really believe that like outer space is heaven. I don't know, I got into scripture heavily but managed to find a way out. The moment you find God, he ceases to exist. Interesting. I like that. Here again, the misconception evolution is a ladder of better organism. There's no thing as an evolutionary level. That's true, right? Because we're not suited for our environment. They're talking about actually making us better. And then better in which way? All right. So it says it has all characteristics. You can talk about everything, all the characteristics, including evil, including the design of everything that leads you to go astray if you listen to the wrong sources. You say that couldn't possibly be true, but there is nothing that was not created by the kingdom level above human. And the reason they created everything there, including negative options, is so that you can become exactly what you choose to become when you have the opportunity to become it. This actually sounds like a more reasonable theology than Christianity. Right? It's just like, okay, well, if that's who you are, these options are there. And look at that, you know, if that's what you want to do, then do that. Okay. Stronger, faster, better. We have the technology. Exactly. We're not more evolved than mice or geese. Our niche is simply a different one. Exactly. We have an opportunity to leave. I'll tell you about the kingdom level beyond here if you want to go follow me. I'm the guy that's got the key at the moment. Whatever representative is sent from that kingdom level, blah, blah, blah. You got to leave everything behind. Human ways, human behavior, human ignorance, human misinformation. So I've read some other stuff that was written by Doe. And again, he's a very compelling guy, I would say. He is. I think the part of the reason they didn't get bigger was more because they were really isolated after, I think it was after the 80s. They started to isolate in the late 70s, early 80s. And then once they got to the end of the 80s, that's when they basically kind of closed off. It was very difficult to become a member after that. They were basically saying, like, all right, we got our away team assembled. This is as many as we were going to use. And then they just kind of spent the rest of their time on this this large home, this like mansion, like a really big home with many rooms and stuff. They all lived there together. And they did work for like freelance web design. That's how they made money to keep living. And they were basically just waiting until the time was right. And the time was right when the Hale-Bopp comet came. It does kind of get closer to Deepak Chopra. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Oh, seeing the deep salad, I'd say spirit science. That's what I wanted to check out. There we go. Spirit science. What are we going to check out from spirit science? The final revelation, Jesus Unmasked, the Christ series finale. Who really wrote the Bible? I haven't seen this in ages. I didn't know that there was a scarf on this character. Alright, what should we... Please not spirit science. Well, that means we have to do it, Finkelstein. Science of Christ consciousness. I want to see like the most viewed video. This is it. Oh, it's the movie. No. Episode 1, Telepathy. Sacred Geometry movie. Astral projection. Channeling, the flower of life. Dimensions. Masculine and feminine energy. The Conspiracy of Everything, 90-minute special. The Keys of Our Past, Power of Heart, Math of God. Pineal gland, that's our third eye. Everything's connected. I'm just trying to see, is there anything like... Okay, I have the power. DNA activation. Can I activate my DNA to fix my back? The one that jumped out to me, I would say, is the masculine feminine energy.
Know ye not that ye are God.
I want to know if it's just going to be what I've heard before. You're asking that in 2025? Yeah, right. How does this nutter have so many views? Yeah, how many views? 1.48 million subscribers. And 5.2 million views in the most viewed one. I don't know. I think if the masculine feminine is anything I think it is, it might be kind of boring. I want to see about this DNA activation, because that seems like it's the dumbest. 1,000 is paid per million views. This guy must be ballin'. Yeah, right? Jeez. I know my production value isn't as good, but jeez. Alright, great.
In part 1, we talked about the activation of our DNA.
Okay.
And this is a concept that is not entirely understood yet.
Cool, but he's going to tell us how to do it.
This is something
That's like saying, well, you know, nobody knows about, you know, no one knows God. We don't know the mind of God. Anyway, let me tell you what he wants you to do so you don't go to hell. You know, we don't know God works in mysterious ways, but let me tell you about those ways, you know. It's a bit loud. Okay. That's no problem.
It's happening right now. It's not
Is
something
that better?
that will happen all of a sudden and that you have to wait for. This is something that you and I get to activate by becoming
So
more in
complex,
tune and
therefore
aware
God,
of ourselves.
right.
If we're just
It's a
sitting
UFO,
around saying,
therefore I know it's a
"Goodness, I'm
spaceship."
stoked for my DNA to
Exactly.
activate, but in the meantime, I'm going to keep eating at McDonald's and keep watching TV for 4 hours a day and
Okay.
keep on being a jerk to people I don't like," then don't expect yourself to experience any profound
Yeah, don't watch TV for hours a day. Watch my YouTube channel for hours a day. Just as likely as any other religious scenario, right?
shifts. The higher strands of your DNA.
What
will bring
higher strands? What the hell does that even mean? What, I got like a third spirit helix or something? Like, what does that even mean?
you more in tune with yourself, for they are you, and you have to be the one to choose the path
I
of
would,
awareness
but you don't have
and
enough
unity.
videos up. I appreciate
So
it.
higher
There's 200
strands of
something. I
DNA.
gotta,
What does this
I have
really
to
mean?
reopen the other ones.
The portions of the DNA chain that science
Man, the
has
three-body
presently
problem, that was a
identified
good
as
one.
the double helix represents only the surface portions of the chemical,
Okay,
elemental,
surface-
and electrical components of the active DNA strands.
Okay.
Science has yet to understand the multidimensional spectra of
So I like how they say science is yet to understand the multidimensional spectra of DNA manifestation, but I know it. Let me tell you how to activate it. That's what I guess I don't understand. Look, I'm not saying we can prove it scientifically, but let me tell you why you should totally believe me, you know?
DNA manifestation, though we are beginning to remember.
We're beginning to remember.
The human DNA imprint will always appear
Wait, it is. It's a third freaking, what is that? Sine wave?
from external analysis.
According to some scientists, however, it still looks like one is missing. The third strand creates a beautiful balance. What? Yeah, you need more coffee for them, right?
As a two-strand double helix configuration in 3 dimensions.
Okay.
What is not understood is that within the double helix there are, and will be progressively more additional double helix strands. Which
How do
fuse
so
together.
so again? How do you determine this if you just said you can't even like look at it through some kind of microscope thing? Do you know what I'm saying? Like how do you do that? I'd love to see that guy actually talk to some DNA expert. It's buzzwords all the way down. Let's see what we got for the comments. The most hardest part about this is letting go of all the unhealthy food, material things, TV, games, but at the same time not hiding from it or running from it, just accept that it's there, you don't need it. It's just a really low vibration. It holds one back one's consciousness into a particular frequency that stunts energetic growth, basically. Interestingly, it's from Spirit Science Official. It's got 10 likes. Okay. Every time I watch a Spirit Science video from the beginning to end, it immediately brings a full smile to my face, and everything Jordan says makes sense to me and motivates me to such an extent that I want to share it with random people everywhere. Namaste. This transformation is truly incredible. I've been going through this since late September of 2012. Since then, I've been tuned in to the spirit realm, and I'm tapping into my dormant abilities. Sometimes it's easy, and other times it's hard to go through the process. We'll all get there eventually. Just focus on it, and it will happen. I felt that hug scene at the end, and it gave me chills. Wait, Jordan, I see a connection. Do you think it's him? Just with a different voice? A non-scientist explaining science. No, explaining metaphysical science. Why are this religious people just hate fun, right? Basically Kool-Aid for the intellectually lazy. Well, the people that think they're intellectual, that's what it is.
As our understanding evolves into the multidimensional spectrum,
Oh, we got evolution again. We need bingo cards for
the
this.
understanding of the structure and function of DNA
Oh,
will
see? There it is. Do you see how it's the same, guys? Do you see how it's totally the same? And it's the narrator says, but it was not the same. It is flavored, that's correct. I'm going to go activate the electrical quantum of my DNA ions. Me too. I'm going to take a piece of metal and jam it into an electrical outlet and see if that activates anything. With the advanced team of Russian researchers working with DNA. Oh boy. Are we going to talk about the Russian psychic
team of
program?
Russian researchers working with DNA started a project to
If
progressively
you concentrate
learn more
on your phone hard enough, the car will pass right through you.
about DNA by combining forces with linguists.
Or the name. If the name is Jordan, high chances are you start talking nonsense. That, yeah, perhaps. I do have a buddy Jordan, thankfully, is very grounded in reality.
And have dived into the unknown of the 90% of junk DNA, which
DNA.
we currently embody.
Okay.
Their findings are evolutionary. According to
What do you mean their findings are evolutionary? You guys, the hell does that mean? They're not revolutionary, guys. The findings are evolutionary. What? Oh my goodness. I mean, I get that it's just buzzwords, but are you for real? Are you for real? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
To them, our DNA is not only responsible for the construction of our body, but is also used as data storage.
Data
and in
storage of communication.
They learned that the 90% of DNA follows the same rules as all of our human language. The way that
Okay.
sentences, paragraphs,
No,
and
it
chapters
doesn't. No, it doesn't. Oh my god. Their findings are evolving. Yeah, it's evolving from information to BS. That's what it evolved into. Okay, listen to this. Listen to this. So, okay, it's used in a data storage and in communication. They learned that 90% of DNA follows the same rules as all of our human language and the way that sentences, paragraphs, and chapters work. No, it doesn't. It's the same way our DNA works. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, yeah. Stop insulting me, I'm not a USB memory drive. Well, I expect many viewers of this also think that Peterson has a great mind. Oof. The findings are so amazing, they don't even need R's. The R's are stupid anyway. That's true. That's true.
This is the first double helix strand.
Okay.
The one that Western science
Which one is first? Why are you showing so many? Which one's first?
looks at, which is basically like a sentence of DNA.
No, it's not
However,
a sentence of DNA. What? Sorry, my brain just rebooted.
If you step back and see the bigger picture, you begin to see the paragraph. Stepping back further and you see the chapter, and so on. These.
Also, why does it look like you know exactly the word I'm gonna say? Do you know what I'm saying? Why is it always like that? There's that divine feminine, I guess. I bet he wanted to say sequence. What is going on? Oh. Government. Oh. It's just a government alert about the weather.
Larger and larger strands span
Okay.
through the different frequencies of reality, the different dimensions, which makes them harder to find in our modern science.
What? How is it harder to find? Literally, you just get like a microscope that doesn't zoom in as much. What? What? Oh my god. I don't know. Sometimes when you get migraines, it affects your thinking, it affects your feeling of how do I want to say this? Your energy levels, I guess, is the way. And I just suddenly feel like I feel like I'm on some kind of downer. Like suddenly. Because this video's a freaking downer just to listen to it. Georgia O'Keeffe frequency. We had a government alert for the Pope funeral. Interesting. With the same app we Italians use for natural disasters. Because the Pope's funeral. Not even just he died. So his funeral's a natural disaster? Interesting. I think he's referring to the usefulness of junk DNA, which is fine, but why do we have to zoom out? And then how
Western
come
science.
because he can zoom out, but scientists can't?
Instead of looking at DNA like this, we're cutting out pieces of DNA from here and adding them over here.
What?
Which is similar to picking
CRISPR?
out words in certain sentences
What?
and putting them with other words in other sentences to see if they fit together and can make a new energy, a new idea.
A new energy? This isn't a new energy. See if they can make a new energy. How? How is this making a new energy? That's what I don't... What? Yeah, Kellen, no. Yeah, Okay, first of all, so we can't...
Yeah. This is the nature of our junk DNA, of which Western
Okay.
science just didn't understand for the longest of times.
Exon. Intron. Is that a biology term? Exon and intron? I've never heard of that. Is this a DNA of petroleum? Same effect as jamming metal into the light socket. Exactly.
The DNA isn't junk.
It's not
it's
junk,
just
guys.
misunderstood.
It's just
And also,
misunderstood. See, I'm glad that he knows that as a non-biologist. I'm glad he knows that.
not as used right now because of our dense level of consciousness.
Okay, so because our consciousness isn't as good, and our DNA is not... Oh, what are those flowers called? Oh my god, I forgot. Anyway, they're not these tropical flowers. Because of that, then, like, how do you... Like, how do you get to say this, is my question. Just how do you get to say this? Also, again, migraines are interesting, and they can create sensations, like, that aren't there. So it feels like it's shaking, or you see lights that aren't there, just like you hear stuff that's not there. I suddenly got like a taste of like a char-grilled hamburger. So does that mean my DNA is being activated? Don't know. Okay. This it's not a lotus. It's a they grow. Oh my god, I forgot what they're called. It's I can't remember. Lilikoi? Something like that. They're in the Pacific Islands.
However, we are beginning to activate
That's
and
the
reawaken
spirit
our
science. I
DNA.
facepalm too. Luckily, I've taken my mittens in the movement. Yeah, that's good. Not me. We gotta reawaken
through
our
ever-expanding
DNA.
consciousness and our desire to know more. The very awareness of this DNA is what is activated.
The awareness of DNA activates the DNA. Please do not cite the double slit experiment.
It. Awareness of our higher selves
Okay.
and our connection to the all and the interconnectedness to each other. We are directly connected to the earth as well.
What?
And exist
And exist as a part of it, like a
as a part
child
of it,
exists in its
kind of
mother's
like a child
womb.
in its mother's womb.
Here's a picture of a child that's not inside of its mother's womb.
If anything happens to the mother, it creates an energetic imprint that affects the child.
Okay.
The Earth is...
Now, see, again, this is one of those things where they throw in a little bit of something that makes sense. If the Earth is damaged, that's going to negatively affect us. Right, that makes sense. But now it's because it's going to resonate on some kind of energetic, higher consciousness level.
Our mother, hence the name Mother Earth. Our morphogenetic field exists as a part of her larger morphogenetic field of the Earth.
Wait, our more photogenic field?
Morphogenetic field exists as a part of her larger...
Wait, are more photogenic? Did they really say that? Like, we are creating light particles?
The Earth is our mother, hence the name Mother Earth. Our morphogenetic field exists as a part of her larger morphogenetic field of the Earth. If something happens to the Earth's energetic grid, then we inherit these problems into our own grid.
So, wait, so are they gonna mention anything about being near the poles and getting higher rates of cancer because it's less of a magnetic field? Morphogenic? That's what I'm wondering, right? Stealing from Avatar? Jesus, sorry.
Our energetic anatomy is exactly like the Earth's, with chakras.
Well, that reminds me though, it's there are some people, like the QAnon people, and they will use like what's it called? Michael Jackson's that ABC easy as 1, 2, 3, and they're like, oh, it's the gematria, and they're like, oh, it's because that's gematria, and so it's this thing in pop culture that they think they're telling us, or they people use, and they're like, no, they're right, they're giving us a hint, you need to take the hint. So that's that thing of stealing from Avatar. No, Avatar gave the hint. They know better. Lee, stop trying to make sense of it. I know. My brother taught me that when you're dealing with people at work, never just accept it what it is and try to correct the behavior. Never try to answer the why. The why will drive you crazy. Genes are not stored as one big continuous string. Rather, the bits of code or amino acids interspersed with the regions that are excised when the mRNA is built. No, it's a long paragraph. Weren't you paying attention? The morphogenic field emanates from the Gaian mind, the so-called anima mundi. Fantastic.
Meridians, axiotonal lines,
That's
and
good.
DNA.
Oh, are they going to talk about ley lines too?
If something happens to the planet's
If it happens
grid,
to the planet's
then that
grid.
affects every person's DNA on the planet.
Okay.
We're at a very important point in history right now because we are remembering how to regenerate our original organic imprint for health.
What? We don't even need
science
and fancy equipment to do this.
We're just required to learn how to use what we came here with. By moving into a space of love and light.
A space of love and light. Oh, if we're having this too, then does that mean my taint and the top of my skull are unguarded? Because look at this. It's basically the poles, right? That's what it looks like. So the top of your skull and specifically your, what is it, perineum? I don't know, your taint. Those are the parts that are most vulnerable to spiritual attack. Is this what we're to believe? Oh my gosh. There's so many new age beliefs and what it's so much, right? It's just coming at you too hard. Oh my goodness. I have to do with lots of people with mental issues. Rule 1, don't ask why, just take it as they tell it. Yeah. Same thing if you're dealing with little kids too. You don't try, you just say, really? And they go, and then they leave, and then that's it. Why do all cults have to say we're in a very special moment right now for decades? Yeah. Well, because it's talking to you, it's getting to you, you feel like you have to take advantage of it because it's going to pass you by. It's sort of, it's the same kind of marketing trick for, what's it called? Like for sales. It's, well, you could do it later, but you know, if you buy it later, great, but you'll miss out on this good deal. So you should just buy it now. Yeah, the FOMO. But especially for the best part. Just figured the Earth grid was a ley line thing. Oh, I thought the Earth grid was the magnetic field. Well, now we're going to split into different factions.
And living from the heart and living in a place of
emotional
stability and health, you can once again reactivate your light body, and in doing so,
my light body. I mean, I got my heavy body. Where's my light body?
Reconnect with the higher frequencies of your being. Energetic blockages.
My energetic block. How is this representing energetic blockage? Look at this. Like, look at the picture here. And if you can't, it's just like a, I don't know, it looks like a pastel almost kind of thing over charcoal. And it's just a naked body that doesn't have a lot of detail. And it's just a person kind of slumped. Looks like they're resting against a wall. How is this whatever he just said? I want a lighter body, working hard on it for summer. There you go. We got this. Yeah, high pressure to bypass the frontal cortex. This is going to piss me off enough that I'm going to need a freaking bypass. She's staring at her belly button. Is our belly button? Is that a thing? Or is she staring at the taint? Because something happened. Don't know.
Themselves as problems in your own life.
Oh,
depression.
You see,
anxiety,
depression? That's my fault. Sorry, guys.
Temper rages, or personal problems in your life.
Personal
which are
problems.
Causing stuckness or driving you down
causing
a path
stuckness. It's a path of chaos or disruption.
Chaos or disruption are also energetic blockages.
Okay.
We talk a bit more about this in lesson 13.
No.
A lot of teachings online demonstrate that there are specific shapes and geometries that you have to work with, such as the star tetrahedral Merkaba field, to reactivate your light body.
What is this? Is my light
true,
body?
But you also
was that the Napoleon Dynamite dance?
Merkaba field to reactivate your light body.
Okay.
This
Napoleon
is true,
Dynamite.
But you also have to remember that the geometry is inherent to your being.
Okay, which geometry puts my discs where they should be? Which geometry does that? Is it the star, the what is it, Metatron's cube? Is that what does it? I'm trying to learn here how to activate my DNA so I'm in less pain. Do they write a script when they record it? Oh yeah, that's a good question. It's navel gazing, an ancient way to enter contemplation. The Greeks called it ophthalmoskepsis. It aids in meditation. Ah, okay, thank you. The Hanged Man tarot card. The Hanged Man is, actually it's appropriate for this video because the Hanged Man is to represent looking at things with a different perspective. And that's what they're talking about. We talk about it in lesson 13. No!
It's actually not necessary to put pressure on yourself.
Okay.
To put a star tetrahedral Merkaba field around your body and keep each piece spinning opposite to each other at this particular speed.
Can we do it? Can we do it?
This particular ratio, and it is important to get the feel of it.
Okay. Because see, my doctor, my physical therapist told me the opposite, that I also have to like hyper focus on everything I'm doing. So I have to keep my lower core tight and my glutes tight and also my rhomboid muscles pulled back and my neck has to be neutral. And I can't cross my legs, I can't cross my ankles. It doesn't matter if I'm standing, sitting, lying down. And I need a pillow under my legs or between my legs if I'm lying down. And if I'm lying down on my side, everything has to be, like, I have to overthink that. So if I could just feel the tetrahedron, that's great. How do I feel it? What do I feel? Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Well, you're welcome, John.
And understand where it is and what shape it is.
Okay.
Beyond that, though, it's more important.
Oh, I gotta choose love. Damn it. Can't do that. I choose pettiness. I choose, what else do I choose? Being overly analytical. Yeah. Not love, though. Sorry, guys. Sorry, higher self, lighter
creating
self.
a vibrant reality for yourself.
Creating a vibrant
Realize
reality.
That you are a creator, and that the experiences that you are having are of your creations.
See, again, this is where, you can kind of see what they're saying. Like, if you get what you give, people respond to you in the way that you put out, that kind of stuff. You choose Charmander. That's good. Bulbasaur. I choose
Bring love into your life and all of those around you. The light body will reactivate when you are ready.
When I'm ready. Well, I'm ready. You guys ready? I'm ready. But it also works with sacred geometry.
My advice is also to work with sacred geometry. If it resonates with you, put conscious thought into understanding things like the yin-yang, the understanding of duality. You can also work with the Trinity, which is understanding mind, body, and spirit.
Okay.
Or wisdom, understanding, and beauty.
So which is it? Is it mind, body, and spirit, or is it wisdom, understanding, and beauty? What? But isn't wisdom understanding? I could understand wisdom, knowledge, and beauty. or knowledge, understanding, and beauty, but wouldn't wisdom be coming from understanding of situations, experience, and pieces of knowledge assembled? And then why beauty? Why is that thrown in there? Why not like wisdom, understanding, and physical strength? Wisdom, understanding, and being a really good chef. You know, where does beauty come in? I like when Sir Sick reviews Spirits. I haven't seen that, but I'm sure anybody reviewing this can eviscerate it. Jordan chose love for forgot to ask for consent before. Earth, wind, and fire. Yeah, because Jordan isn't that. What, beauty? I haven't seen Jordan. I've seen the character. The character's okay.
Which is understanding
It's
mind.
very... I've never seen Invader Zim. I just know what the characters look like. It's very that type of art.
Body and spirit, or wisdom, understanding,
Strong, good chef. Yeah. See? Maybe that's what... Oh, I see what you're saying. That he's beautiful already. So maybe that's why he chose it. Like, oh, I figured it out. It's like that lady who says she's a breatharian. She believes in, like... She believes she's an alien. And she lives off of air.
Then there's the 4 elements.
But she's very beautiful. And so people are like, oh, maybe there's something to this because I want to be hot too. Earth, air, water,
Elements of
fire.
creation.
Wait, earth. Oh, it's crystals. It's not dirt, guys. It's crystals.
Earth is physical, air is mental, water are emotional, and fire is spiritual.
Fire is spiritual, okay.
If you're familiar with the tarot, you can use it to go so much deeper into understanding the 4 elements.
Wait, what? I don't study tarot to learn about elements. That's more the periodic mouth breatharians.
Basis of the 4 suits in a playing deck of cards. And the major arcana are the
that's
experiences
true,
that you go through. The toroidal field.
Wait, so then this is where, again, the toroidal field, where does this come
geometry, from the path to the fool to understanding the all.
But no, wait, what?
From the singularity all the way around to the singularity.
How is this related to the major arcana? That doesn't make any sense. Especially because they're organized in a circle, not a toroidal field. Oh, is it because it's in a circle, but it's a donut? I'm
Beyond that, you can also try working with energies, meditate with crystals, go get Reiki.
I did get Reiki. Reiki, how he says it. I've done it. I've done it back when I was more susceptible to this kind of stuff. Or less skeptical. I still would say equally susceptible, but more skeptical.
Practice Qigong. The more you work with them, the more receptive you become to feeling the energy.
Don't try to make sense of it. He's just spouting whatever comes to mind. No, I'm going to try. This video hurts. It does. It really does. My pain has increased significantly, logarithmically.
The final thing I want to say is
the last thing.
We are all one, and our DNA is connected.
No, it's not.
The process of DNA activation is as much a solo journey as it is a collective one.
Oh, this is very Zen Buddhism.
Through conscious conversation, getting in tune with your friends, and opening up your heart to those around you who you can trust, will facilitate DNA activation.
Now, the problem is this kind of thing that he's recommending, it is going to make you feel better. It's just saying have a sense of community where you have good conversation. Great. So you're going to feel like you're doing something. He really chose a specific toroid for his example. Had he used one of the classical donuts, it wouldn't have worked. Cherry in the salad now? That's it.
Within not just you, but those who you communicate
cherry
with.
Vinaigrette.
Think of it like a big jigsaw puzzle, and everyone has a different piece of this puzzle. By simply communicating with them,
it's more puzzle.
Hugging them, gazing into their eyes.
Gazing into their eyes. Oh, we can't do that. We've already figured out we're very acoustic over here. We can't gaze into anybody's eyes. I expect a scene from Life of Brian now. You could.
Listening
to
what
all
they
the children. We're gonna get that. I want to make the world to sing in perfect harmony. That I want to buy everyone a Coke, something.
And sharing what you know with them, you will facilitate
Follow
a
the
transfer
gore.
of energy. And that's just it. DNA activation is feeling.
It's
truly feeling more than you ever have before.
Like I never have before. There's substances that help with that.
There was a TED Talks by a man named Paul Zak, who spoke about trust, morality, and oxytocin, the hormone that facilitated these feelings.
This is the problem. Where they say, look, here's a thing that happened, right? That's real. Also, that's not a great look for the guy. Do you know what I mean? Because of how his pants are just being eaten. Yeah, it's a nice, nice shot, but I mean, Probably isn't how he wanted his pants to look, but maybe he did. I don't know. But this is where we bring in that little piece of like actual science. And look, it's not saying anything different from me. They work synergistically, you know. This video may be from the people who asked, do you know Doe? No, we saw those guys. They're over here. Those guys aren't even as nonsense. At least they have something that sounds... It sounds interesting, somewhat cohesive, and at least, you know, we only found one thing that was really like, oh, that's dead wrong, you know, as opposed to, well, this can be a perception, and if it's true, belief, spirituality, whatever. But something like, no, it's wrong, like evolution doesn't make stuff better, it just makes stuff suited for where it's at, right? Yeah, to just say that Heaven's Gate is far more coherent than this, that's a problem. You don't have to watch Spirit Science to understand this stuff. Just take what Terence McKenna calls heroic dose of yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's like stuff that makes you... That's what I was also wondering. Is it TED or TEDx? I was wondering that. It was a cover by a girl on YouTube. Oh, interesting.
Within.
Oh, third eye. See? See? That's it, Phantom. I activated it, tapped into what you were watching.
My understanding.
I don't want to say what else you were watching, but it was like that pastor talked about. I bet they're wagering the average person doesn't know much about DNA. Yeah.
Hormones like oxytocin are the third-dimensional manifestation of these feelings and vibrations from the...
No, it's just it's not a hormone either. It's a neurotransmitter. Like it comes from a spot in your brain. It's produced by chemistry that's created because you ate stuff. There's no vibrating that's involved. There's nothing higher that's involved. It's just I'm losing it, guys. Kelly, run away. Please use this. Lee is stunned. One turn. Use this as your escape. Yeah, this is a good time. This is bad. Definitely bad. This is. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Higher frequency coming down into the physical body.
No, it's not.
Just as the heart...
it's produced for your physical body. They saved the best for last. I'm so excited. I'm vibrating on my chair. I'm reaching a higher frequency. That's what I'm doing. Okay. Yeah, activate that pineal gland. Get those lucid dreams in there. I'm activating oxytocin. I'm not activating oxytocin. Okay. I'm activating the opposite, noxytocin.
Organ is the physical manifestation of...
Sound of beryllium causes water to split into oxygen and hydrogen. The sound of beryllium. Okay. See you later, Nick. We'll see you. And of course, please enjoy the rest of it at a later time, because the stream will just be a video after this.
The source and center of your being and a different
frequency as well. The source and center of my being.
I will link you to this video. And ultimately, what he concluded was that physical contact, hugging, holding hands...
Oh, don't go molest the audience. No.
...are some of the most important factors in awakening to your whole self.
Okay.
Opening up true feelings of trust and awareness of yourself and others is what's good.
Oh, he chose the guy he thought was the cutest. It's like that scene in Donnie Darko. Like, may we help you? Yeah, I just moved here and I transferred in this class. Sit next to the boy that you think is the cutest. And they all start talking. Shh, let her choose. Okay, that's what this is. The guy in the corner over here, he's like, oh, he's kissing him. What sounds pretty nice? Semper Fi. Oh no. Is there another Marine here? Gross. Now my vibration is very low. Does sound pretty nice. What, hugging a guy or sit next to the boy you think is cutest? The channel Martimer 81 did a whole series called Why Do People Laugh at Spirit and Science? He is a physics teacher in Sweden. Oh, okay. Can you post that in the Discord so we have a link to it? Or I'll just post it. I'll check it out here. I'll open in a side thing. Martimer 81. Oh, it's optional for spirit science. Okay, fantastic. 38 videos. I'm going to open one so this way I can access it later. Fabulous. It's got a nice blue screen behind him. Excellent. Excellent. It must sound pretty nice. Yeah, that was poor timing. I'm sorry. If it makes you feel any better, I was a squid. Gross. I only care about the squids that get tasked to us. The non-combatant squids. Hugs are always nice. We don't need to bamboozle myself with salad for that. I'm normal, okay?
Gonna take us to the next level of human connection.
But do you think maybe he's just into this? And this is like his thing? To just hug strangers? Because there are those weirdos. You know what I'm saying? They like expose themselves to strangers. He's like, I'm gonna go touch strangers. And get him to touch me. And he's doing it to bamboozle. Like, this is just a very elaborate fetish. That's what I'm thinking here. You know, I despise hugs. It's ridiculous nonsense to me. See, we've all got the acoustics here.
For when we can look into another's eyes and
I tried
see
putting
ourselves.
the link in my previous post. It won't work. I was going to say in the Discord, but that's all right.
That's when we know
The connection. Look at this connection. She's not looking him in the eyes, though. She's looking at his mouth. He's looking at her eyes, and his eyebrows are plucked to hell. That's the thing. She's looking like, I want to kiss him. And he's looking like, what mascara does she use? No, he could be bi. Yeah, that's totally a normal attendant magicians will have in the crowd. Oh, do you think it's... I think it's just hugs, though. And if you're already there, you're already receptive, you want to be part of it. I think that could just be a person, but it could just be a plant. Hugs are the one thing I missed about leaving church. That's true. You get to hug people, shake their hands, have a nice time.
On the right track. Want to change the world? Paul's conclusion was 5 hugs a day.
5 hugs a day.
And make them
count. That's like... No, that's a fetish. That's a fetish. For legal reasons, this is my personal opinion. I don't like the sound. I am not a fan of this sound. It's very discordant. I don't like it. We need more like the contrabass or something in there. I'm hating this. This is making me dizzy. We're gonna... That's it. The rest of it, another... It's like a solid 20 seconds of people just going, and then the end. Video credits. Wow. I attend the Temple of the True Inner Light. It's the best church on the planet. I mean, it sounds fun, you know. Making them count sounds sinister. Right. Like you're gonna pop somebody's back or something. Hey, that place is where I live. It's a wonderful piece of architecture art. I mean, it looks cool, you know. It's just with all these people lying on, dropping their crap all over the floor. Less cool, you know. The person in the middle is like, I gotta pee. Right. Can you imagine? This reminds me of penguins, though. When it's cold and all the male penguins are having to guard the eggs while the female penguins go get food. And it blows on them. They all kind of huddle together and move. So that's cute. But yeah, I'm not into this. Whatever this is. Is this person shirtless? I hope not. Can you imagine that? Oh, there's one. Looks like it. There's always one who just takes it like a level too far. And again, they're there for not pure reasons. We're gonna give them a thumbs down. No, I don't know. We usually thumbs up just because like, hey, thanks for providing us something to talk about, but I don't want to thumbs up them. Do we have a short? Are these anythings? Gross. What is this? The apocalypse is on the way. Ding. Call to prayer girls. A video of a little girl in Dubai freaking out over call to prayer being played in a mall. But why? But why? All right, we'll watch this and then we'll watch the call to prayer.
Bottom line, look, I think that we're at the beginning of an apocalypse. And it should be known that apocalypse literally or etymologically means a lifting of the veil. It is the great revelation, the revealing of truth. And as we all know, as the great Master Yeshua once said, the truth will set you free.
The great master. I don't think he was that great. I just don't. He's just another cult leader who's got stuff he said. That's about it, you know?
The challenge is that we have been so in illusion for so long.
But why should we
that
believe anything that he's saying? Who is this guy?
Kind of truths, as they come up, they have the capacity to rapidly destabilize everything that we think we know about who we are and our place in the world and how the world is run and who's running the world. And as that comes up, it has the capacity to cause pandemonium.
I'll be mad.
So my recommendation for anyone watching is this. Go within. Practice meditation, deep breathing, and prayer.
Why is it always the same?
Cleanse yourself on the inside and find the light of your soul. If you can do this and become unmoved in the great...
It's just, I don't know. I think there's an apocalypse, but don't worry, it's not scary. It's actually good. All you have to do is all the same stuff. It seems this guy played TTRPG Mage. I'm not sure what that... I haven't played that. But if it's the case, I wouldn't be surprised if they're ripping stuff from games, you know? Call to Prayer Girl. Oh, being a baby. She's just in my lap. Oh. She's so little. You're so tiny. Especially compared to Chunk. She's so tiny. She's the little runt. You're the little runt. Is it this one? This first one? See, this is my spirit. Walking. This, I mean, it's, you know, it's interesting. You know, this kid's listening, whatever. I am more interested in the comments. Yeah, I agree. When we learn about Islam, we have to learn about, you know, the call to prayer and all of that. There's a clip that I play from a call to prayer, and it's, you know, it's nice. He sings it really well, and it's very lovely. I think it just depends on who's vocalizing, because Finkelstein says that, you know, find it rather annoying. As a non-Muslim and a non-religious person, I have to say, hearing this call every day in the mall made me stop and just close my eyes. It's beyond beautiful. Well, I wouldn't say it's beyond beautiful. Like she says, it's kind of Lion King-y, you know? Okay, great. When this precious, innocent little girl says, "That's a good one," my heart melted. The prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Every human child is born on nature." So, why the parents aren't explaining what's happening, girl? It's a guy calling to his friends. They do that this way here. I don't know. I mean, they did say it's a call to prayer, but that was about it. I have coworkers in Turkey. We literally cannot schedule online meetings on Fridays because they have these prayers. They'll just overshadow everything. That's... I can see that. I am Christian, but I love and respect the peace and discipline of Islam. No, they are not all terrorists. Terrorism has no religion. That's true. True Christian terrorism. This call to prayer warms my heart. Okay. Traveled to Turkey 2 years ago. Don't care. Beauty and innocence of purity, innocence, curiosity of a child is something to be cherished. Children, no matter their race or religion, are so precious, and this just what this world needs. Love to hear the Muslim call to prayer. Beauty, purity, not Muslim, but there's nothing more beautiful than the call to prayer for me. I don't know. My little cat, she's very beautiful. She's a very yes. Oh yeah. Chloe, oh yeah. I think that's more beautiful, you know? When my cats are like meowing to let me, you know, let them in, I like it. Her parents did a great job letting her have this discovery. It's a beautiful thing to see. What do you mean letting her have this discovery? They're walking in a mall and then it got loud. And then they were like, yeah, that's them praying. What do you mean letting her have this discovery? What's the alternative? Covering her ears and escorting her outside? Like, what's the alternative? The 2 recommendations, what I ate today. There are more corpse inside. What do we got? Probably Amberlyn Reed, yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the cops discover evil mothers is it. I know we get to see what we like. Also, yeah. Vulgaris Magistralis. It's a good Viking medal. The call to prayer from the mosque in my hometown made the petting zoo donkey join in. You know what? Like I said, I was thinking let's end around 10. It's 10:06, and I think on that note, that is probably the best ending that we're gonna get to this. I think so. On that note, I really thank you guys for hanging out with me and being able to catch the stream. You know, at the beginning, if you weren't here at the beginning, just in a different room in my house, because I have someone staying over, and hopefully the future stuff is not going to be with this funky lighting. I got just bad lighting in this room, so I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me and having a good time. I'm going to go ice my back, ice my neck, take some meds, and yeah, appreciate you guys so much, and have fun. Thank you for the stream. Good night to you and the kitties. Yes, he says good night. Good night. She acknowledges you with her head and extra loud purr just at that moment. Remember, kibbles and snuggles, they are your human contract. Exactly. All right. Lucid dreams, don't forget to engage in the hesychasm. I want to be able to pronounce that so you can experience theoria in a lucid dream. If I can just lucid dream at all, then I would be happy. And the rare times I've realized I was dreaming, I have no power over my dream. It sucks. All right, we'll see you later, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and adios. Bye-bye.